What is up, everybody? What is up? Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are having a good day today. The week is almost over, one step away from Friday. Welcome to another episode of the Black Line Brief. Let me add Jay to the screen. He just hopped on. Let's see. Let's go here. What up, Jay?
What's going on, bro?
How you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself, man?
Good. It's Thursday. I'll be doing better tomorrow. The weekend will be here.
I
So
feel that.
I was just doing the greeting, saying what up to everybody, and welcoming them to the show. If you guys are joining on Jay's channel, please do him a favor and hit the like. And if you're new, hit the subscribe to Jay's channel as well. And same here. If you guys are here, please do me a favor and hit the like and hit the subscribe if you're new. It is the best way to help support the channel, and we appreciate it so much. Let's see. Well, oh my goodness, man. I got some videos pulled up, just some things that's happened this week, but it's been a minute since we've hung out together.
Yeah.
Let's see. I did some digging on local what are they called? Action hubs in my area.
Oh, activism hubs.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught any of the ones that I did. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of a video that's not titled for that, but I found ones that, it's the activism hubs that seem to be fake.
Yep.
The ones that are called Club America, like on their map, those are like at schools. And I mean, however, I do remember on one of your, I think you pointed out, somebody said, like, a principal was like, we've never heard of that. We don't have that here.
Yeah. Like even with the schools,
Yeah.
a lot of them are still fake because if you just like, again, I think we talked about it a little bit. First, you would have AI kind of do the research for you to see if you can, is there any digital footprint on the Club America at the high school? Then even if it says yes, all you have to do, it'll automatically pull up the club's website for that high school. And then you go through all the clubs. Then, you go through the Instagram pages for all the clubs that they have at that high school. So even when it says yes, I have found at least 10 schools that it's actually no. Because AI may have confused it with a school that's in a different state, but may have the same first name.
Right.
So yeah, it's plenty of high schools that don't have one that is listed, and it's actually
Uh-oh.
okay. There it is.
There you go. Now
There's actually one about 5 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. There's actually one 5 minutes from me. It's a high school, and there's no chapter there. I know for a fact, but I'm about to check it out probably tomorrow.
I'm going to do that. So the high school down the street says that there is a Club America chapter there. I didn't do the digging on that. I spent the majority of the time like online with Google Maps, referencing with their map with the activism hub, where in both cases, like, the dot is in the middle of a street. It's not even attached to a building. And then the closest buildings on both of these, one of them is like a rundown, not active building at all anymore. And then the other one is like downtown Coeur d'Alene, and it's like, shops. It's like businesses that exist. And it's like, where is it saying it would be? And it's so weird. My question is, so do you think just to inflate the numbers on their site for donors, like just for visual optics to make them look like they're doing bigger and better than they are? Or is there like money or grants that they could get more of by claiming false numbers?
Yeah, I think it's several different things. And to hit on what you just said as well, before I even get into that, the activism hubs, if you look in every state, majority of them are in the middle of the street. That's like another reason how it's like not really real. And that's in majority. I looked in all of these different states, and almost every state an activism hub is in the middle of the road. I don't think it's rare to find an activism hub at an actual website. I mean, address. But there's so many different angles you can take as far as these fake chapters. Like, yes, you can take the donor route where you inflate the numbers, make it seem like you're doing something, and make the donors invest a little bit more because they see, oh, you got something going. Right. Then you have the grants from the government. They're like, look, we have, 1,300, or I think it's 1,200 on their website. We have 1,200 chapters
Yep.
that we have to service because
Yep.
we have to provide different things for them to make sure they can do what they can do. So we need, X amount of money to make it happen when whole time we only have 200 active. You know what I mean? But they're going to
Yeah.
give us money to service 2,000, but we only have 200. So you have that route. And then you also have probably the worst of them all, which is the money laundering, where
Oh,
you can get the money to Club America, and then you can use that money as a direct payment to another nonprofit 501c3. And now with that nonprofit, you don't have to necessarily track that
yeah.
money. Now it's like a
Yeah.
form of payment,
Yeah.
and now you can use that to lobby in different political. It's crazy, but they have so many different routes and so many different loopholes that they're taking advantage of. And I mean, it's clear as day when you go to those old, super old towns that have Club Americas. Like, you have to remember, only high schoolers should be running these Club Americas. So even
Right.
when you go to these old towns, you shouldn't even think, oh, maybe an adult signed up, because it's not for adults.
Right.
So I've searched up. I think I have. I'm not supposed to, but unfortunately, it's on Club America's website. I have about 4 personal addresses pulled up because I got it from the Club America website, because they use an activism hub as somebody's personal
Physical
house.
address. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have it pulled up because I like laugh at how crazy it is.
Yeah.
But there's no high schooler that is going to register their personal
Oh,
address.
yeah.
Right. So it's stuff like that where you can just tell that they're doing some type of fraudulent activity.
Man, and like, look, I do understand that Charlie did say this was like a dream, a goal of his. He did want like to have, a presence in high schools. He said that he became politically, mindful and, active in high school. And I get that he wanted to do it, and I could see him doing it, but like Erica and like the other people that are there, or like Tyler Boyer, because he's like the political person. It's oh man, these people coming in and out of high schools is just, it's a no-go for me, you know?
Yeah, and I think Charlie, I'm always gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, because I don't think I have a reason to think that he was doing anything, suspicious in that
Right.
type of way. Because we talked about it before. I'm sure he was probably aware of a few things going on in his company, but as soon as I feel like it got out of control, that's why he started the audit and submitted so many different things. Because I think initially he wants to trust the people that he thought was great friends to him. And
Yeah.
then I guess at the very end, when he realized you can't be trusted, he finally started to do all of that. But I think again, with Charlie, he had probably great intentions to enter the high schools and probably try to, touch the youth on a positive level. And yeah, it got hijacked just like everything else. And when you look at Club America now, I feel like the paper trail is so hard to find. Like, it's hard
Mhm.
to find 990s because they're such a brand new company or a nonprofit.
Right.
Yet you can find Club Americas that existed 2 years ago, and it's like,
Yeah.
how? It's so hard to locate this stuff. You can't find the donor payments because they under 501c3s. You don't have to disclose donors. There's no 990s. Even if you go to Turning Point USA's 990, they're supposed to have Club America listed as one of the,
Like affiliate.
entities.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And it's not there, and they're supposed to have it. You are supposed to track all of these things down, and they're just taking advantage of all the loopholes. So now you have this nonprofit that can essentially make up whatever they want on these federal documents. They can say that they're filled. I think on the federal documents they have like, we support 3,000 something college and high school chapters across the country. They just make up stuff. And it's like, you should label every single chapter. If
Yeah.
you're going to say something like that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
label every single one of them, provide a phone number, provide a contact, whatever it is. But
You
I,
can't do
I,
that
I
if it's
refuse
fake.
to believe. You said what?
You can't do that if they're fake.
Right, exactly.
If you
I
don't
refuse
want
to
people
believe
to,
Charlie do that though.
no, Charlie wouldn't, but like that's what I'm saying. Like now, like they're definitely not going to list anything,
Oh, yeah.
now. Um, I mean, I guess we'll see in next year's filings if any of these, You know, if anything, new information comes out in the 990s and stuff like that next year.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know if
mean, we
it's
can see.
yeah, we'll see. Sorry, I was just gonna say I don't know. Am having inclement weather here. Like we have like a gnarly thunder, lightning, and like windstorm. So I'm checking my internet. It looks good. So I just beware that if something happens, that's what it is. So
Okay.
hopefully it won't though. Everything looks good, but um, let's see. All right, man.
Today was a lot, man. I'm telling you, today
Today,
was a lot on X with the Charlie, Erica. It's been crazy, man.
fill me in. I haven't been able to be on X. I worked all day, so fill me in.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
So Project Constitution,
Okay.
he posted a about 15-minute video of some anonymous source. You can hear the voice, but it was AI. And this probably woman was basically saying she had a friend in the same party as Erika Kirk in like Beverly Hills or something like that.
Mhm.
And she said, "This is what my friend said." And it was basically saying that she saw Erika partying and being very affectionate with some guy named Blake Wynn.
Oh,
That's what I was talking to you about
yeah.
earlier on X.
Okay. Okay.
And so I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I know it's Blake first though. Blake
Okay.
Wynn, and they were that's what she was being accused of basically essentially having a new boyfriend.
When did this party in Beverly Hills supposedly take place?
May 12th or the 14th, one or the other.
So
Um
recently.
Yeah, recently, yeah. So this person was accusing of seeing Erica there. This was a known party in Beverly Hills or some rich place where people tend to know that it's very secretive, and there's no phones around, and you can't like because things are going on there as far as like maybe substances and all of that stuff. So yeah, this person was like, yeah, I saw Erica, and she was with Blake Wynn, and Blake Wynn is somebody that has been seen in Charlie Kirk's videos. Like they know each other. Charlie and Blake
No
Wynn and
way.
Erica, they go way back because they started pulling up all the history. And so that's essentially what it was. I saw Erica with a guy. They were very affectionate. It was Blake Wynn. Erica comes out, and the tweet's still up. She comes out less than 12 hours and debunks it. So she hasn't came out and debunked anything else that's been going on. She came out and directly replied to Project Constitution under 12 hours because this dropped at 3 in the morning. Erica responded by 12 noon, my time. So less than 12 hours, Erica directly replies to Project Constitution, and she says this whole paragraph. She's providing an alibi, saying I was with my kids. Like she's doing all of this. It's crazy. And she went. It's a full paragraph explaining that she would never do stuff like it was. She was like begging people to believe her, but she was just addressing it and stuff like that. And I was with my kids on May 12th. You're obsessed with me. You keep talking about me, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, she says something like, you need to go touch grass or whatever. And,
That's the thing she says. She says that a lot, actually.
It is Project Constitution replied. I think he was like, can you please, prove to me that you weren't there because I have multiple people saying they saw you.
Yeah.
And, that's when the whole everybody got involved. Obviously, all of her defenders come forward and say she doesn't have to show you or prove to you anything, blah, blah. So they did all of that. Now, honestly, my opinion on it is I never really cared about all of the boyfriend girl. I don't necessarily care about all that. It doesn't really do nothing for me. I don't care if she does have a boyfriend. Yes, it does suck like to hear that, but I don't really care enough to be like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like, look, she's moving on. I don't really care about all that. What I do care about is there are more serious accusations and allegations out there that we need her and TPUSA to debunk.
Yeah.
That it's crickets about.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. Like we have the AI Charlie, you know what I mean? We have like the Superman neck that y'all lied about, but you haven't addressed anything, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, the kid photos, like so much stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So you come out and you debunk irrelevant things. I don't care about you having a boyfriend. You can have one. I don't care. But that's what I was just my mind was blown because I said, here we
Yeah.
go again with TPUSA coming out debunking irrelevant things.
Or attempting to, right? Like she didn't
Right.
actually provide an alibi, right?
Correct.
She gave her verbal statement that she has an alibi, but like
Correct.
she didn't actually like show some metadata of her at her house or a picture. Like, don't give us another picture of you and your kids together, please. Like, if you do
Correct.
that, like, holy smokes. Yeah. Okay. So, but the fact is that she felt, I don't know, offended, or like it got to her enough that she spent the time to write out a full response like that. And knowing that every time that they've in the past, her or Andrew or Blake Neff just not debunk, but that they respond, right? That they just give an initial response to an allegation without giving any actual fact to back up their response. It never
Right.
goes over well. So this is what makes me think there's something else going on. Like her doing nothing would have looked way better than what she ended up doing.
I agree.
And so it's like
1000%.
at this point, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, is she really that dumb? Is
Yeah, I
she?
mean, I don't know because that goes back to the conversation of like, who is leading or I guess giving
Yeah.
her
Okay.
information and
Or advice.
guiding her.
Yeah.
Because it's just not smart at all. Like that's the
No.
first thing I thought of as I feel like
Oh no.
I just like, everything else that's going on, you're replying to Project Constitution about boyfriend allegations. Like we have way more bigger things to worry about. And then on top of that, what was also weird to me is the guy, Blake Wynn, I can go back to his page really quick just to make sure. He wasn't active on X since like last August, like August 2025.
And
And
then what?
today was his first day getting back active, defending Erika and the allegation, saying like, Project Constitution is Erika said something about
Weird.
I'm trying to screenshot it so I can share it with you.
Yeah, you
She
can even
said,
pull it up on your thing and
yeah.
I can put it in the
Oh, snap. Okay, here we go.
yeah. You can add it to the studio and I can just share your screen and then you can have full control.
Oh, bet. All right, here we go.
Yeah. What's weird is that Project Constitution has done things in the past that turned out to be false. He's done really good stuff too. But I remember and they've even like he's on their radar for sure. But he's kind of at times done things that doesn't end up panning out and passing the sniff test. And they've kind of proven that, at least that one time when he showed a photo of Erika, I think she was kissing her niece or something. And he said like, she was, before presenting a screen, remove. Oh, I got to remove that one. All right. There. All right. You're on. You see it?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Erika's response. She said every single word here is a lie. This is the whole thing right here. I don't want to play it all, but
Yeah, no,
you
you're good.
see it's 16 minutes. This person's talking or whatever, and
Yep.
it's already been. I mean, it's funny because it's community noted, but it's not really community noted with facts. It's just saying Erika said, but whatever.
How do you get a community note like that where it's just someone? It's like hearsay. It's just Erika and the person and Blake are just saying not true. That's not true. How is that a real community note?
Right. It's not. I don't know. That was kind of weird when I saw that. But Erika said every single word here is a lie. Charlie's love will last me a lifetime. The Lord is the only one who can ever fill that most painful void. On May 14th, so that's what the date was, I was home in Arizona celebrating my son's second birthday. Blake, who is about to be engaged to his longtime GF, was a dear friend of my husband's, and I am grateful for his continued support, just like hundreds of others. Your deranged obsession with me and blatant disregard for any form of truth whatsoever is deeply disturbing, and I am praying for you to get help you so clearly need. Brush off the Dorito dust and go touch grass. So that's her little line. And then, but it was funny because when I pull up Blake Wynn's, hopefully it pulls up for me.
There it is. Yeah.
So Blake Wynn, look, he's posting now, but look, his last tweet was August 2022. I mean, August 22nd, 2025.
Where did he go? Where is
And
he been?
yeah, it's nothing. So like as soon as this happened, I was like, who is Blake Wynn? I went to his page, and his first thing I saw was Erica retweeting this. That's when I was like, oh, this is real. And so this is his first time being active since 2025. And then now he's extremely active.
Can you hit a picture of him and like make it bigger? I want to see, what does he look like? Is that the best picture of him? You really think Erica would be hooking up with that dude?
I mean, you want my honest opinion? I think Erica is interested in women more women
Okay.
than not. But I don't think that this guy would be the person Erica would be out with. Just my opinion. But I just thought it was strange that he's
Yeah.
been MIA for 8 months,
That
and
is
then
weird. Yeah.
I was so that made me kind of be like, okay, well, I didn't really believe it from the get go, but
Yep.
when I see patterns like that, I was
Yep.
like, that's kind of strange.
Yep. Well, and like, I mean, a lot of these people,
Facts.
they
So
have
sad.
some weird.
She's how old telling people to touch grass.
She's like 32 or 34, 35.
She's like 38, bro.
Oh, is she 38 now?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, she was like 30. Wait, when is her? Well, she was 30.
Her birthday in November, so she's turning 38, 37.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, because she was 36 when Charlie was assassinated.
Yeah.
Well, here's the bigger question, right? Like, so say maybe this girl's exaggerating, right? Maybe, but okay. Let me say a couple things. Number one, Erica should know by now that with any like free time, if she really wanted people to like start rooting for her, bro, she's got 2 kids at home under 5. Like, I don't go to parties. Like, what? Like, we have like a block party barbecue here
Right.
with my wife and my kids. Like, go to a play date with your kids and a friend with their kids, but like being anywhere. And I bet she could have been at this party. And you seen the photo that came out recently of her with some dude at a TPUSA event, and she's like, when she's wearing her glitter outfit, I think it was on X, and she's like holding him like all weirdly, and he's kind of like pulling away.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
And she's like, somebody posted, it might have been like Crystal Smullen or somebody posted it and was like, only Erica could make, even someone in USA uncomfortable or something like that.
I did see that.
And I think and you see how she was with like JD Vance. She is overly physically affectionate with men of the opposite. So men, right? Those of the opposite gender, and that aren't her, family and, husband. And it's possible that she was being really weird, and maybe, I don't know. Do you really think she'd be making out with this dude? Like you said, I think.
I mean, that's it. I don't know. I
Maybe
mean, like,
fiance.
yeah. I mean, that's what she said. She said that he's about to be engaged to his longtime GF. So clearly, they're close enough for her to know all of this information. And again, he replied. I'm looking at his tweet to Project Constitution. He says, "Blake Wynn here. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am not dating Erika Kirk." So like, I don't know, bro. I just know that personally.
Sorry, go ahead.
It is weird, but I mean, again, with Project Constitution particularly, like, cool dude. I know that he's done a lot for sure for the investigation. I think when it does come to like the extra stuff, I think he came up with Andrew Kovac was getting a divorce.
Yes.
And
There's
so
been quite a few things.
Yeah, so it's things like that where and I'm not calling him a complete liar. I'm like, look,
No.
it could be true, but it doesn't really add any like value to what we're attempting to do. Like, he could be going down a different path and trying to figure out some other stuff. That's cool. That's cool. That's what he does. Whatever. But it just doesn't help what we're already trying to do, because we already are facing a group of people that hate us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're being attached and looped in to that. I have people tagging me and stuff talking about, look what how crazy. I'm like, bro, I could care less about her having a boyfriend, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care, but this is what happens, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like tabloid journalism. I think that there's some things that, yeah, and that's fine. Okay, some people think that certain things are important, as probably as long as it relates to like TPUSA, Erika Kirk, and those involved, and like anything is fair game in their opinion.
Right.
Me, I'm definitely a lot more interested in anything that is leading to exonerate or prove that Tyler was there and did it, or that leads to whoever did do it. And those are the things that I'm most focused on. I think it is weird if she is dating or even hooking up with someone this soon after her husband, who she just said in that post has a love to last a lifetime. um you know, so like in that regard, I would say it might matter, and it also would kind of, move to show her state of mind, or the instability of her state of mind, or her character, her decision making. Like if she was doing these things, I think in that regard it would be important, but not like, okay, she's, dating is the important part. It's if she's
Yeah.
doing these things, like that kind of proves that her character, her decision making is just off.
Right, right. I don't think,
No.
and like you said already, I think his name is Colin, but Project Constitution,
Yep.
he could be somebody that's extremely interested in stuff like that. I just know for me,
Yeah.
if especially when it comes to, excuse me, the dating or Andrew Kovac getting a divorce, I'm like, that's like, if it's not like on the surface, I'm not about to take time into looking to see if that is actually happening. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Unless it's something that is going to provide some more substance to the investigation. For example, like these chapters, that is not directly tied to the murder of Charlie Kirk. However, I want to also expose fraudulent activity to
Yeah.
allow everybody to see that these people aren't innocent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is something that is an extreme, like a huge deal
Yeah.
to prove that they are capable, right? They're not saints, which is what bothers me, because they portray themselves as saints. Or if
Yeah.
you call something out, you're demonic. Like today, I got hit with at least 12 scriptures of people saying, like, eh, I think I said Erica Franzfey, and it was like a whole bunch of people that was like, how dare you call her by her maiden name? She's a Kirk, and you're gonna answer to God one day. It's stuff like that where I'm like, this is why I want to bring up things that just expose these people for who they are, not who you married to and divorcing with. I don't care
Yeah.
about all of that. I'm trying to expose a much bigger thing, which is the fraudulent activity. TPUSA, we talked about it last time. TPUSA being a criminal organization, because
Yep.
if you remove all of the surface level things that they have going on, such as the students, um, such as the chapters, like all of these different things, if you remove all of it, they're a criminal organization. They don't
Yep.
need them, right? They're
Yep.
in place to make it just seem like they are
Yep.
normal and doing these things.
Mm.
They don't need them. They're
Yep.
literally a lobbying type organization that is strictly for politics to
Yep.
help whatever foreign entities and influence they got going on. They don't need the students, but they need them to at least lighten the load off of it, not looking as bad.
Yeah, and it's a direct link to brainwash the next generation, because
Absolutely.
I mean, psychologically, anyone under the age of 25 is much more easily impressionable and molded, right? Hitler said, "Give me anyone under the age of 7 or 5, and I can create any man." That's why Prussian started kindergarten, right? The Prussian school system that we've adopted, and the Germans adopted, is getting kids younger and younger, because you can indoctrinate them younger and younger and make them into whoever you want. And that's how they were able to create the SS and, Hitler Youth. And so I get that they want to get people younger and younger and younger so that they can mold, them into the type of good Republican conservative that will vote the way they want to vote and think the way they want them to think when they're adults, when they're 18, when they actually
Right.
can cast a vote. And historically, people don't vote at 18. I mean, a lot of libs did. And and that's because the Democrats have done such a better job at tailoring their message to youth and making it seem to be it's cool to be a Democrat, like all of the things that the slogans and stuff. But so I do understand why. Well, and yeah, I think you're right too. It's like it's to make him look like this wholesome American organization that's there to help the community and help the kids and all that too.
Yeah.
So
And that's a huge part for me. We talked about it a little bit as last time, as far as like being in a cult before, being brainwashed before, all of that. Like, bro, I remember those days, and every day I wake up, and there's been people that reach out, they're like, man, I seen some of your stuff, and like I had no idea, and my child was in a chapter or was affiliated with this, and then I'm pulling them. I'm like, that's also a goal that I'm that I'm working on, is just trying to get one child at a time, or one parent at a time, to realize what they got their child mixed up in. It's not what they think it is. Just trying to protect them, man. Like you said, they're vulnerable. They're, when it comes to like the 15-year-old talking to Erika. Oh my Lord. I've been arguing with people all day, bro, the last like 2 days about that. Because they're blaming her and
the 15-year-old from back on the when Erika was 25. I agree with you, but there's not another 15-year-old. It's that incident, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I was bringing that up. You said what?
People are still yelling at you about it today or this last couple days?
Yeah, just because it's 100% like my fault. I brought it up again, so I I knew it was gonna happen. But I brought it up again because I was like, "Hey, everybody, just a reminder of who your CEO of Turning Point USA is." And then I provided the screenshots of the text message and stuff. So yeah, a lot of people have been hating me for the last couple of days, but that is a prime example, because I'm like, they're blaming the 15-year-old, and they're saying, oh, Erika was a mentor to her, blah, blah, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, like, she was being, I don't know how YouTube, but
inappropriate, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was
like brooming,
transforming. Yes, exactly. Brooming, yes. She was brooming her, bro. And so I'm like, it's clear as day, but there's so many people that were, including Lisa. She was killing it as far as everything about the 15-year-old. She was just soon as I posted, 5 minutes later, she got a paragraph response of defending Erika with the 15-year-old
from her trailer
and stuff like that, where I'm like, y'all realize like this.
Sorry, it cut out. I'm sorry.
Man, but yeah, it's a brainwashing tactic. It's manipulation. They're using those kids. I mean, even with the kids that's working in the field, you know what I mean? Like, they getting paid minimum wage. Volunteers, or most of them are volunteers. I think the girl that quit or got fired, back in like January.
Yeah,
she was there for like 5 or 6 years, and I think she was only at like $25, $27 an hour. You know what I mean? That's 5 years later.
Wait, which Aubrey, the girl that was like Andrew Colvit's like #1 person?
Yes, Aubrey.
Okay. Aubrey.
Yeah, like she wasn't like in.
Yeah, but that's pretty
category.
She's only making 25 an hour.
She wasn't in that category of the Mikey McCoys.
No, but she was right under. She was right under. She was like,
under. What you think? 70
a year?
Is that I'm fair guess?
Yeah,
about 70.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about an employee that's 5-6 years and she's up in the ladder, but she's right underneath the execs, and she's at 70. So I'm saying, like, most of these kids, she said it, the lifespan of a TPUSA employee was between 1 and 2 years. Most of the time it was like half a year. Most of them left. And so these kids aren't getting paid anything. You know what I mean? But yet they're still putting in the work and the time. If you go find these Club USA, Club America Instagram pages, these kids they're out in the hot sun with picnic tables with little pens saying sign here. They're not getting paid nothing for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's clear as day that they're volunteers doing that, or maybe they're getting paid pennies, but your boss is flying private jet everywhere. I mean, your boss is flying private jet everywhere. Andrew Colvett is living in mansions. Tyler Boyer is dropping. Those are the times that I do care about personal stuff. I think Tyler Boyer dropped like a $600,000 down payment on a house.
Yeah.
That's when stuff like that matters, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking about your students that don't get paid anything.
Well, and I think one of the things that they're manipulating in the system is high schoolers have to do like community service work, right? They have to do stuff for their senior project. They have to do certain things for college, right, to look good on a resume. And a lot of these kids, they want, well, maybe not. TPUSA says don't go to college, but I mean, they also say go to Hillsdale. So I mean, or go to Grand Canyon, or one of the Christian ones, I guess. But like, they know that these kids are dying for opportunities like this to work for free. I mean, volunteer, and they'll do it because they can put it on their work experience. They can put it on their school applications when they apply to these different Christian universities: Liberty U, Hillsdale, Grand Canyon, Pepperdine, Azusa Pacific, whatever. And I mean, it's I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good.
No. Yeah, it's so many different layers.
Did you see James Lee? Let me pull this up real quick. I mean, we've already I know I've brought this up, and many others have already done so as well. Let's see. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah.
Quote, a company run by former Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale, hired by the Israeli government to push pro-Israel views on a major conservative media network, has directed $13 million from Israel to several Republican digital strategy firms and allies, according to previously unreported document filed under the Foreign Agents Registration Act. You don't say. Or maybe more accurately, it would be anti-Semitic to say. We've known it to be true for a long time, but finally it's been confirmed and exposed that the entire legacy conservative media ecosystem is just a bunch of pro-Israel firsters taking money from Israel. And I'm glad we had a small hand in exposing these traitors. So it all started a few days ago with this clip of the new Charlie Kirk show, claiming that Charlie, if he were alive today, would not support Thomas Massie, even though he said Thomas Massie was one of his favorite politicians because he voted against the big, beautiful bill and exposed the Epstein files. That's what these guys are claiming. Let's play.
Which is interesting because, a couple things, right? We've played this on this show when this one came out, because this is Daisy Phelps right here. And I was like, the day that I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, we found Mikey McCoy. It's the video where I put Mikey McCoy on a milk carton.
Yeah, I remember that.
But what's crazy is, I'm pretty sure Ian Carroll was the first to find everything out about the FAR filings. He's the very first person I ever saw do it. And then it kind of went down the chain from there, all the other people that ended up doing it. But there's two very important FAR filings, right? You have the Clock Tower X, right? And then you have the Show Faith by Works FAR filing. The Show Faith by Works is by the Foreign Ministry of Affairs of Philly. And Clock Tower X is also got a connection to the Foreign Ministry of Affairs, but you have the Havas Media Group, you have Salem Media Network. What else is there? I did a post on X today about it. It's interesting that James did this today. Like, let's see, where's my? Oh, because it is making the rounds again on X, because we have. Let's see, let me pull this up real quick. We have what's her name? Kim Iverson. Let me
saying that they have Israeli. Thomas Massie is going completely scorched earth now that he has 7 months left in office. He is pointing at TPUSA, saying that they have Israeli ties. And not just do they have Israeli ties, but they gained those ties mere days after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Thomas Massie writes, Grok, is it true that the Charlie Kirk show is now distributed by a registered foreign agent of Israel? Grok says, yes, there is a substantive connection between the Charlie Kirk show and Syndicator, which is a registered agent under FARA for Israel. So just days after Charlie Kirk's assassination, suddenly you have this Clock Tower, which is owned and controlled by Salem Media's chief strategy officer, Brad Parscale, and it registers as an agent of Israel. Their goal is to integrate narrative messaging within Salem Media Network. They have a $6 million contract covering strategic communications, media services, digital campaigns targeting Gen Z to give them Israeli messaging because they are registered with FARA for the state of Israel. By the way, Salem Media Network owns a ton of news networks, local news networks across the country. So we have allowed Israel to not only buy TikTok, not only do they now have control over CBS News and Paramount, and I believe CNN, but now they also have control over our local news networks and TPUSA. This is a full-blown infiltration.
And yesterday when I covered the timeline, so this was my post, right? Like everyone needs to look up the following and see how they all are connected, right? The FAR filings, and I linked it here too. So you can actually click on this and it'll take you to the Clock Tower X FAR filing. This will take you to the Show Faith by Works FAR filing. This will take you to Havas Media Group, Media Networks page and Salem media.com. And then I tagged Andrew Colvett, Erika Kirk, and Brad Parscale. And then I tagged a bunch of friends in, I didn't put you on here. Wait, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Jay yaps a lot. You're in here.
And Andrew, I was about to say, and Andrew's lying. Like he replied to, I think he replied to Thomas Massey and was like, "That's not true." And then he replied to my tweet and said, "Grok is wrong. Salem no longer distributes the show, not since January." And I'm like, bro, you can go to Salem's website right now, and they're literally posting the show that they're doing the day of.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not really understanding why is he lying when we could just go to Salem's website and see what's going on.
Yeah, that's what kind of blows my mind is how stupid these people are, or that there's so many Americans that believe them. I mean, that's what's really scary is that people don't either have the time, energy, or fortitude to even go fact check them with just a quick, go on to Salem Media's website to find out. I did a show yesterday regarding the timeline. Let me pull this up real quick because this I thought was a good post, which ties into all of this. Okay. So I linked the show right from yesterday, but here's the timeline, which goes from May 2nd, where Charlie sends the letter. Have you read the letter, Jay?
I need to. I've seen the 7 pages.
Yeah, I have it here. I'll send it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Do you see it here on the screen?
Yeah.
All right. And what I recommend you doing too, because it's 7 pages, it's really long. I do recommend reading it so that you see what Charlie said, which I did first. And then I threw it into chat and Grok and asked it to give me a, synopsis and put it into sections on, what is it saying? What's Charlie telling, BB to do and things like that. Basically, in a nutshell, and then I'll go back to the timeline real quick. In a nutshell, in May 2025, Charlie is telling BB, look, dude, you've lost the information war. You've lost the hearts and minds war here in America. The tide has changed, and you need to change your tactics. The old methods, the old strategy, the old machine isn't working anymore. And he literally gives him like a literal plan. He even gives him a name. He tells him you could call it Israel Truth Network. Charlie tells him a step-by-step on what to do to win the propaganda war. And at first when I read it, I was like, this doesn't look very good. I was like, oh no, it doesn't, because he's not saying like, Charlie's not confronting BB with like, the West Bank, Gaza, Palestine, everything.
He's trying to come up with a defense for him.
I think Charlie's very tactical, very smart. I think he already knew he kind of had a target on his back in May. And I think this was his last ditch effort for a couple things to try to make BB, see him as a friend, but also tell BB like, hey, this is what you need to do. And it was kind of a way for Charlie to be like, I'm moving away. Here's what you need to do it. And then BB turns around and asks Charlie to come on his show, and Charlie goes, no, you're not coming on my show. BB then turns around and goes on a very intense, for the first time ever, American podcast tour where he's coming here to the United States. He goes, Brandon, Tatum, like the list is big. Candace pointed this out on her show yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And then it leads all the way up into where the Hamptons happens. Bibi asks him again, like, I want to do what you said in your letter, but I'm not going to start from scratch. Let me give you $150 million. Let's use TPUSA. And you've already won the hearts and minds. You already have the influence. You already have the infrastructure. I'm not going to start from scratch. Charlie's like, no, we're not doing it. Charlie does, he has Megyn Kelly on. He has Dave Smith and Josh Hammer. He also has Tucker Carlson on at the Student Action Summit in the summer of 25. And then he does also at that same time, he does the sit down with the college students where he does that focus group with Andrew Colvett with the students of TPUSA chapters. Have you seen that?
Yes, I did. Yep.
And it's all on Philly.
Yep.
It's super interesting. But I think what Charlie ended up trying to do was prove to Bibi by having these people on who were influential and educated people. And Charlie didn't have to himself say all of these things and make the target on his back even bigger. But the target became pretty big on his back because he was, in their eyes, platforming these individuals and doing these things, which really did highlight the issue. But it kind of like, it sped up the timeline for when they had to take him out, in my opinion, which, did you know when they did these FARA filings? Because the FARA filings are the final stage in Charlie's letter.
I was listening to somebody about it the other day, but it was very like back to back to back to back to back.
September 8th.
Yeah.
They filed him. And then 2 days later, he's assassinated. And then they are like either reviewed or approved on like the 18th of September. And so when they realized that Charlie wasn't going to play ball, he wasn't going to let them use TPUSA at all, or him, they then, I think they had these documents and the funding for it. You know how long it takes to raise like $4 million, $5 million and have all of the paperwork ready to go to have it submitted on the 8th?
Right.
Do you know what happened in the end of August too?
Remind me.
The Aspen retreat. So he says no.
Yes.
At the Hamptons, Bibi calls him and asks him. He says no. Okay. And then at the Aspen retreat, these Jewish donors ask him a really weird question to ask a 31-year-old.
Right.
Hey, so what would you do if, or what's going to happen to TPUSA if you die?
Yeah.
And no wonder why he was pretty sure if he was getting this, and then he saw like Lori Cardozo Moore sending him a text saying like, you better watch out, Charlie. God's going to lift his hand. Like, he for sure knew exactly who was threatening him, and it wasn't crazy leftists. You know what I mean?
100%. Tyler Robinson didn't wake up and want to do that. So it's like,
No.
it just so happens right after all of that that you just said is definitely not a coincidence.
No, not at all. And so I'm glad that big channels like Thomas Massey are pointing this out. I mean, sorry, not James Lee. But I want you to listen to this part. Listen to Blake Neff, what he says here. These guys, bro, couldn't be more of total frauds when they try to say Charlie would XYZ.
Yeah, they love controlling the ghost of Charlie.
So I don't know if you heard this part of what they said here. I'll play it and then I want to get your take on it. I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay.
I wanted to know a little bit more about the Thomas Massey loss and what's your thoughts on that?
I got so many thoughts.
Hold on. First, before he goes into his many thoughts, like, why do they even still bother to do the show? Like, who is that lady in the middle? Does she even do anything? Does she say anything?
Yeah, she's their cultural like person. It's Daisy Phelps. It's not cultural. It's like she's the person that, I don't know. It's like something culture, something media person. I don't know if this is going to be the clip where he talks about Epstein. I might have to fast forward it, but you're going to hear what he says about Massey, which is still a lie even in of itself. And these people have no shame,
At the great Mikey McCoy looking like he's, I don't know, he's staring at a ghost or something like that. Colvett, Blake Neff, these two buffoons. Like, is this even the Charlie Kirk show anymore? Like, what's the point of this? Anyways, I digress.
It's interesting, David. I've been accused, I think the organization's been accused, Erika's been accused of betraying Charlie by not coming out and endorsing one way or the other and not being more involved in that race. I will tell you, and I haven't said this publicly, but and I know this isn't necessarily a question, but it's an opportunity to address it. But, you know, after the One Big Beautiful Bill vote, you know, and I want to respect Charlie's privacy as well. It's always the tension in all of this.
Oh, now you want to respect. Come on, guys.
You know, there's private conversations. Charlie was a fan of Thomas Massie, especially historically, liked him on war, liked him on being a budget hawk and spending. But he was pretty frustrated that Massie didn't vote on.
Right. We've already played this. I'm not going to play it too much longer. I'll take it off. He pretty much just says like, oh, he didn't like Massie at the end. You know, Charlie changed his mind at the end about all these things. Right, Jay?
That's the trend. It seems like every time, every conversation, every topic, it's always, oh, you guys didn't know me and Charlie actually talked a lot behind the scenes, and he actually was feeling this type of way. I didn't want to share this publicly, but now that he's gone, I feel like I need to defend. Like he does it every time. He did that. It's probably been a month or so. He did that with the trans community. He was like, it wasn't, you know, Philly that was, you know, doing all this stuff with the Charlie Kirk investigator. Philly's not behind it. What y'all didn't know is that Charlie was very afraid of the transgender community. He was very afraid of the LGBT. He's like, y'all had no idea. Every day we would talk about this. And I'm like, Charlie was like, what are you talking about, bro? So that's his trend. I'm starting to pick up on that. Every time that, you know, we have documentation of Charlie literally saying, and you know, that's what we have, that's what we're going off of, and everybody's bringing that up saying, hey, can y'all make a comment, can y'all defend Charlie's word and stand on what he said? You know, Erika, can you stand on 10 toes behind your husband and what he said about the Iran war, whatever it is? They always come out and say, well, I know that y'all have infinity amount of clips of Charlie saying this, but what y'all don't have is the private conversation we had behind closed doors. And I can tell you this, you can trust me, Charlie did not like Thomas Massie. Right. He didn't want to publicly say that on all the debates, but I promise you, me and him talked about it right before he died. I'm like, okay, bro. Okay.
Yeah. And then he says it's because Thomas Massie didn't vote for the big, beautiful bill. Which is not even, I don't even think that's even true, because like Marjorie Taylor Greene did vote for the big, beautiful bill, but still got excommunicated because what she really stood 10 toes down on, which was the Jeffy Epi files, accountability, and like America First stuff, all the stuff that, you know, they ran on. And those are the things that Charlie like believed in. And that's why he fought so hard for Trump, is because I really do think he thought Trump would fulfill these promises. You know,
he has somebody brought it up that wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk and was like, actually it was Trisha Hope. She has like a pretty she puts out a lot of stuff on X. And she was talking about when she had a period where her and Charlie Kirk unfollowed each other or something like that. And she said she unfollowed Charlie the second that he went on his, I think it was the Charlie Kirk show, but he basically was like, I'm done talking about the Epstein file. Oh, my bad. I ain't even mean to say that. So I'm done talking about that. Yeah. And I'm going to Jeffy Epi. I'm done talking about that. And I'm going to put my trust in my friends. And I watched the clip and he did say that. He said, I'm done talking about that. And I'm going to put the trust in my friends to, you know, do whatever they got to do to solve all of this stuff. But I'm just done talking about it. And I think that's when this person was like, that's when I lost Charlie, because, or he lost me, because he was somebody that was an advocate. And then all of a sudden now he's saying, I put all of my trust in Trump. And, you know, I've had a show of similar content like that before, when I was showing everybody Charlie's transition as far as his perspective. Like, I forgot what episode it was I did it on, but there was a time period where Charlie was spewing the talking points of all of that stuff. Yeah. And then you can see later on in his debates, he started, you know, questioning things or going on podcasts. He went on the PBD podcast and completely said the opposite of what he said in a few debates months before. First he was saying, you know, that Philly was justified in everything they did. And next thing you know, now on the PBD podcast, he's like, did they have a stand down, whatever that thing was called. And he started questioning everything. So yeah, I think he, I don't necessarily disagree entirely that Charlie Kirk may have he disagreed with Thomas Massey on one or two things. But I think with Charlie Kirk, from even what I've been studying since September, that he can disagree with people, but that doesn't mean he just doesn't like them anymore. And I don't support you anymore.
Right.
So, and that's what I feel like Andrew Colbert and them are pushing. They're trying to tell us, because Charlie and Thomas Massey disagreed on one topic, which I don't even agree with that, but let's just say they did.
Right.
Thomas Massey and Charlie Kirk disagreed on one topic. That means Charlie Kirk wouldn't like Thomas Massey today if he was alive. That's crazy to say.
Yeah. And you could even take Charlie's word for it when he gets questioned about Candace Owens at an event in the middle, towards the end of last year when he was still with us. And he goes, what I'm not going to do, we don't agree on everything. And he's like, and I like Candace. She's got some really interesting perspectives and she's spicy. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to, just stop being friends with someone because some people want me to be, And yeah, I think even if he was not on the same page about the big, beautiful bill, I don't think that would have pulled his entire support from Massey, No, I think he probably would have maybe talked with him about it and that would have been it. But I mean, here's the other thing. These bills, Thomas Massey was one of the only people that actually was bringing light that what they do with these bills is they put so much legislation in them, right? And both sides are getting a little bit of what they want. Okay. And that's how they run this, is that you have to sign this whole thing, which has legislation for the left and for the right. But what Thomas Massey would never do, he had some hard nose on. And so he wouldn't sign the bill if it had certain things in it that the left was going to get their way on. And I don't know. I think Charlie would have actually supported him on that,
Yeah, I agree. I don't. That type of manipulation is sick. The way that they be using Charlie's ghost, and they immediately go to we had a private conversation and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but you're lying on a dead man, because that didn't happen. And you may have had a conversation about something that he disagreed with, but that doesn't mean that he told you behind closed doors that he just doesn't rock with Massey anymore. That's a crazy thing to lie about. Yeah. And so I don't know, man. I don't know why Blake and Andrew Covett or Erika, that these people don't come out and just stand behind Charlie and what they say. And I've been in a kind of like a hot topic lately for me, has been Tucker Carlson as well. I know he's on a different trajectory when it comes to the political space. I think he's, trying to stay conscious and aware of not, I don't want to necessarily say burning any bridges, because he definitely would talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. But do you think, before I go into my spiel, do you think it's strange or does it make sense for Tucker Carlson
you just cut out,
and always kind of protect her? Does that make sense to you?
Say it all over. You cut out the whole thing. I lost John.
Okay. Does it make sense to you that Tucker Carlson protects and defends Erika? And not that he has to go with Erika like Candace or anything, just simply like something's off. It doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that. It's more so like, no, I love Erika. I just talked to her the other day, blah, blah. Does it make sense to you, that relationship, considering Tucker Carlson is also like, nothing around the Charlie Kirk investigation makes any sense, but somehow he's best friends with Erika? Not maybe best friends, but he protects her.
Yeah, I think a couple things, right? I don't think he consumes all of the same media that we all do. He may not be privy to a lot of the weird things about Erika Kirk that we know. I think if he has a direct line to her, and like if his wife is friends with her, and if they were all close together, I could understand his Christian lean to protect her and almost feel like an obligation. This is a woman, usually men, Christian men especially, we feel the need to protect women, right? And if there's not someone there. Charlie's not there to protect her anymore. I could see why he might. However, the big however is he's connected in this space. He could ask questions. Like I don't understand the same thing with Megyn Kelly. There's no way that they don't know certain things. And so on that regard, no, I don't think it's right. I think it's so weird. I think it doesn't make sense. I don't understand how he couldn't even just be sensibly suspicious of her, cautiously, conservatively suspicious of her. Just ask some basic questions like, I know they're kids. Those aren't her kids in that photo. I know Charlie was not for the war in Iran. We were both there at the White House appealing to Trump and Joe Kent to keep us out of the war with Iran. There's so many things that he should have firsthand knowledge on that should. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, it is weird. It's weird.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it's been a very sensitive topic because obviously, like, Tucker's never in a crossfire or like in the hot seat about this at all, and that's not the goal. I'm just, amongst us normal people, I'm just having that conversation because I'm like, we're just being completely honest. That doesn't make any sense. We all know Tucker is a very smart individual. Yeah. He's the son of a CIA, agent. You know what I mean? His son is also in politics as well. Yeah. He's very smart. And I'm not saying that you have to be involved in the conspiracy side of it.
Right.
Was Erika at Fort Huachuca?
Right.
No. We ain't got to get into all that.
Right.
How about, hey, Erika, I know that wasn't Charlie's voice that you played on that stage that I walked on as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know that wasn't his voice, but that I'm not going to question that at all. I'm going to defend you in public. And then let's just say, again, he's going a respectful way. And he's like, I don't want to cause anything or say anything in public and all of that. But it confuses me because he knows way more than he's leading on. Yeah. Joe Kent told him everything that we heard in that interview, and I'm sure Joe Kent probably told him a little bit more, maybe not everything, but maybe a little bit more. And so he knows a lot, and the way that he's thinking, Erika rejects. So he's like, nothing about the Charlie Kirk investigation makes any sense at all. What Joe Kent just told me was absolutely insane. That didn't help me at all. But then I'm like, bro, Erika is telling anybody that thinks like you that you're wrong, and it's not more than just Tyler Robinson. It's Tyler Robinson. It's case closed. Stop asking questions. Tucker Carlson is like, I have so many questions. So I'm like, how?
Oh man, I don't think it's my service because my service, like, right, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, so I don't know what's going on because like I got something up right here. My service is not cut out at all on that.
Okay,
but I'm like, how do you go from you have so many questions, but Erika is telling everybody to stop asking questions, the same questions that you have, but then you're going to say, I love Erika. She's great. I just talked to her the other day. That doesn't make any sense to me. So you can call it a conspiracy, but what I think is going on is I'm going back to Andrew Covett, if Candace is telling the story right, because all we can do is go off of her word, is that Andrew Covett told Candace that Tucker Carlson and her was on a list. You remember how she was like, you're on a list, it was supposed to be you, or whatever, it's supposed to be Candace, Tucker's on that list too.
Yep.
What I'm thinking is that Tucker Carlson and Erika and all of these people are being threatened by the same dark force, whatever it is. And so that means he doesn't mind protecting Erika because they're in the same boat. They're being threatened by the same people. They're being controlled by the same people. I think Tucker Carlson is playing the long game. I think he knows exactly what's going on, but he's telling everybody, oh, I have questions, but I'm not really sure. He confirmed the Egyptian planes on his podcast.
Yeah,
he heard Erika Kirk mock the Egyptian planes on CBS.
Yeah.
So he is well aware of what's going on, but I think they're all being threatened by the same people. And I think that is the part of where TPUSA is being hijacked by somebody, maybe the Philly people, the donors, somebody. And I think that somebody is also connected to what did you say? The Jeffy Epi, the Jeff. Yeah, I think they're connected to the files, because that's the only thing. I'm just trying to bring it all together, because it just doesn't really make any sense. I think all of that's together. Charlie was pushing for the files.
I hope it's not mine.
Charlie keeps I don't know why that keeps happening.
Maybe
Charlie he was pushing for the.
Sorry, I was going to say, do you want to?
No, go ahead.
If it happens one more time, maybe like log out and log back in and see if that changes it. If not, we'll just push through.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because I literally have a TV up on the same Wi-Fi. I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I just think that it's all tied to the e-files. Whoever is hiding amongst the e-files and they don't want that to get out, I think they also are the same people that are threatening TPUSA, because they have been hijacked as well by Zionists and all of that other stuff too. But it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, Tucker, Megyn Kelly as well. I think Megyn Kelly, even though she can come out and say, I was a pro-Zionist back in the day, I'm not anymore, I woke up. I think that's cap. I think she still is. I think that she has showed her cards plenty of times. That matter of fact, your episode, thank you so much for playing that, because I needed that and I had to react to it right after you played that. But that episode with the Hodge twins revealed her cards. She is not who she says she is. That completely did it for me. I said, no, you are a Zionist. It's revealed.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're actually onto something there, because let's play this out for a second, right? Who is, enemy number one for Tucker right now? What is he really focused on? Huh?
Those people.
Yeah, Philly, those connected to the Jeffrey, thing, the Jewish donors, Gaza, the war in Palestine, all of it, right? And, Megyn, Tucker, Candace, and Charlie were all kind of doing that at the same time. If Charlie really was a shot across the bow, like, you all are next, and maybe it is possible that who knows who and how many at TPUSA aren't part of it, but that are definitely afraid for their freaking lives and feel like their lives are in real jeopardy, and they're all being kind of threatened. I mean, when Tucker went to Philly, like his life was threatened basically in a very weird way when he did that interview with Huckabee. And, we know Candace's life was threatened multiple times. And we know that, when I did this whole thing yesterday about the comparisons to JFK and Charlie Kirk, France and Philly are like this. Okay. Especially because of the Rothschilds. Okay. Because the Rothschild family, he had 5 sons, right? Amshar Rothschild, right? He had 5 sons. He sent them to 5 different countries. But the most wealthy, the most affluent, and the most successful and the most powerful is the French Rothschilds. Those are the ones that we all hear about. Okay. That's the family that bought the land for Philly. The Rothschilds bought the land that is Philly. Okay. At the end of World War II, bought it from the British government because they owned Palestine back then. Okay. And so, yeah, I would say that the same group of people that all seem to be implicated in and involved in taking out Charlie are definitely the same people threatening Candace and possibly Tucker as well. And who knows who's involved in TPUSA in the cover up and assassination of Charlie. But I think that there's at least a few people there that them going completely the opposite direction of what Charlie was with Philly, Iran, Jeffrey, because even Blake in that episode, he ends up saying that Charlie would be defending Trump with the whole Jeffrey thing. And I thought that was insane.
Yeah.
And I want you to send it, not now, but I didn't know. Do you know when Charlie said that thing you said he said about like, hey, I'm going to be done with this whole Jeffrey thing. I'm done with it. I'm just going to trust Trump. Do you know when he said that?
Yeah, I could find it. Not off the top of my head, but I could definitely find it because I saw it the other day.
All right, you want to pull that up because I'm going to play. Have you heard of a channel called Liberty Lockdown with
No, I haven't heard that.
Okay. Guess who was on his show today? Joe Kent. Did you hear me? No, you didn't hear me.
No.
Okay. Joe Kent was on his show. Joe Kent.
This looks familiar. So maybe I did see this, but okay.
Yeah, this just aired today. Well, he also let me make sure before I act stupid.
Oh, this came out today?
5 hours ago. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see this yet.
Yeah. He is making his rounds again, though. He went on like Young Turks. He's been on the appearance tour the last couple days. And so and then Anna Kasparian just went on with Candace yesterday. So they're trying to make sure that a lot of these issues don't die down. But Liberty Lockdown, I think his name is, man, I swear it starts with a C, but this guy's from my hometown. So Clint Russell from Liberty Lockdown. Let me play this while if you're able to look up that clip with Charlie. Are you able to do that?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna hit play. All right.
Safe, that his large family is probably not safe either. Right. Obviously, I'm extrapolating a lot here, but I don't think that that's a huge conclusion to jump to when we're talking about something that's so dire and so serious, when we're trying to determine why the president seems to be, unconcerned or uninterested in the assassination attempts.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's equally concerning that he's not interested, but it's also arguably more concerning that the FBI was shutting down investigations into additional leads. They did the same thing in the Charlie Kirk assassination, according to you. I would like to kind of ask the same question. Do you think that Tyler Robinson acted alone? Is there enough that you have seen to, I don't want to say conclude, but at least feel as if there might be other players involved?
So we knew there was people that had foreknowledge of Charlie Kirk's assassination, or they're just the luckiest guessers in the world, because there was people posting online, ahead of Charlie's assassination.
But it is possible because what's his name? Tommy Borum, back in July or, before the Charlie Kirk assassination, kind of said, Charlie's turning on Philly. Don't be surprised if they take him out and blame it on a lone gunman kind of thing, a crazy leftist, So it is possible.
He called that how long ago?
Yeah, the guy Tommy Borum, who I had on my show, he was also on Dee Dee's podcast. He's been on others. You should have him on. He's cool, but make sure he doesn't talk about certain things. He has some pretty interesting views. I got to see when he said it on X. I want to say it was in June, July, August. I mean, he called it before it happened. I'll say that. Wow. He literally, it's a post on X. I bet we could even find it. Let's see. Let me hit this. Julia Pierce, both you guys rock. Thank you, Julia. You're awesome. Yeah, he called it. So people definitely, but it seems like other people had some sort of foreknowledge, but I don't know, because those all seem to be crazy leftists, and I don't think crazy leftists had anything to do with it. So, I mean, I don't, unless Philly and the government was using crazy leftists as pawns to be out there to have this social media footprint that they could point back to and be like, see, these people were planning it. Look at these fools were online saying these things. But yeah, let's continue because it gets really interesting. He says here for sure that it was Kash Patel that shut him down directly.
And that he was going to be killed that day, or wouldn't it be interesting if he was killed that day? So we know already going into this question that there were people who had some idea that Charlie Kirk may have been killed on that day. Now, whether or not Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger, et cetera, or what his level of culpability is, that's all going to play out in a court of law. I've been assured over and over again by the FBI and by others that it's a slam dunk case. And Tyler Robinson is innocent until proven guilty. That's the way our system works. And so that evidence will either stand on its own or it won't. Our aspect from the national counterterrorism perspective, we were looking at, was there any foreign links in the case? And really early on, we were pushed away from being involved in the case. We were shut down. She said, "Hey, there's no more work for you guys to do here." Even when we pointed out leads that we had, and the leads that I had, they needed to be run down. I'm not saying that they were smoking gun leads that proved that there was some sort of a larger conspiracy that tied to a foreign country, but we didn't get a chance to finish our work. And from what I could see, I don't think anyone else picked up that work and ran it down either.
Do you mind if I ask who specifically shut you down? Was it Kash Patel, or are you not at the? Can you not say?
He is the FBI director. So yeah, it was the FBI. Fairly early on.
That strikes me as very strange because, and maybe this is just a procedural ignorance on my part, but it seems as if the Charlie Kirk assassination, given that he was, it was pretty clearly a political assassination, why would that not follow or fall under the purview of counterterrorism? Why would the FBI have catbird seat on that?
So in general, when there's a terrorist attack in America, both the National Counterterrorism Center, the FBI, state and local, they'll all kind of investigate at the same time until we can determine, generally who we believe is responsible and if there are any foreign links. And then if there's no foreign links, the FBI, state and local will take over because National Counterterrorism Center, we're not a law enforcement entity. However, we were so early on in the case and there were still foreign links there that I strongly felt that we should have been enabled to continue to investigate. And, this has been reported in other places. There was a dispute. It wasn't as dramatic as some people portrayed it to be, but there was a dispute where we felt that we should continue to investigate. And so for the life of me, I don't know why we were moved away so quickly. I don't understand what the rush was. What the FBI and the DOJ will say is that, any kind of additional information, or investigation could taint the case against Tyler Robinson. But I just don't think that passes any kind of logical test, because then the second you get one suspect in any case, do you just stop investigating? Like, it never really made a lot of sense to me.
It's ridiculous.
And the threat always was, well, hey, if you keep investigating, then you're going to be called, by the defense, and you don't want that to happen. And to which I always said, I'm confident in the investigation that my analysts and my team are doing. They're following all of the rules. So I don't really care who looks over my shoulder and who checks my work, whatever form that takes place then. I just want the investigation to be done properly.
Yeah. Super interesting. If you don't know who Clint Russell is, go find him on Liberty Lockdown. That's his YouTube channel. He is on the good side of the good fight of not believing the FedSlop narrative and questioning, basically, like, almost everything we believe, pretty much everything that you and I, are suspicious of and believe in regards to this investigation. So does he.
Wow.
Let me hit this. Let's see. Why is the FBI involved in the first place? Well, like Joe Kent just said, anytime that there is some sort of terrorism event, right, or, event that may look like terrorism of some kind, the FBI and the National Counterterrorism, Task Force or whatever, it's like the NC something I or whatever, the National Counter NCTI. They do it together, right? And the Joe Kent's, it's not a police, body, but it's an investigative body. And then they would help in the beginning, and then they would bow out, and the FBI would take over. I think also it being a political, seemingly political, like Charlie Kirk wasn't a politician, but he was definitely in the political sphere. And I could see why the justification for them to be involved in the beginning. However, I mean, even Joe Kent said it made sense for them all to be involved in the beginning, but they should have shared equal part in the beginning until the National Counterterrorism made sure that all the links and ties to the foreign leads was found. They went all the way to the end and made sure that there was nothing there. If that was allowed to have happened, I think we could have actually said, oh yeah, it totally was done the right way, but that wasn't the case.
And the FBI for some reason was involved in the repaving, because you remember the guy said the FBI and the governor is who told me to have it done by Monday.
Yep. And
I'm like, why is the FBI even concerned or worried about who paves and how long it gets done? The kids, I saw an article. I know it's been speculation of like kids went back to school Monday and stuff, but I did see an article that said like faculty and staff was allowed back on campus on Monday, and then the students started class again on Wednesday. But regardless, like 2,000-3,000 of them just saw somebody get clipped in the neck, right? Like from what they were trying to sell to us.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was worried about class on Monday, Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like I'm assuming the president of the UVU wouldn't even be like, hurry up. You know what I mean?
No.
And that wasn't even an area that was near classrooms. You know what I mean? That was like in a local common area.
Yeah.
So the FBI getting involved in something like that, saying have it done by Monday, is just so strange. But you know, again, that these are the times where I'm like, what do we do, bro? The FBI, they're not going to lock up each other. You know, they're not going to interrogate or question themselves.
No. Yeah, a couple things. I agree with you totally that. Okay, so I think there could be completely justifiable reasons why the FBI would be involved in this. However, I don't think that is the case in this case. I think the FBI being involved from the beginning, the way that they were involved, the different parts that they were involved in, them and the ATF, you know, finding the rifle, the videos, they enhanced certain videos, which videos they released. Now the whole paving thing, right? The crime scene. I can get why they would, they might want to speed up the reconstruction and, you know, beautification of this site to where it's not further traumatic for students. However, a couple things. They could have gone online for a week. They could have disbanded for a week for grief and for, they could have shut down that side of the campus. They could have done so many other things besides covering up the crime scene within a week, right? And the part that shouldn't have been rushed is the investigative part, right? So like they should have at least locked down the crime scene long enough to do a full, thorough investigation of the crime scene, document all pieces of trace evidence, which didn't even happen. We know that what's his name? Sheriff Chief Long, the Chief Long that was there he was tainting the crime scene. He's touching the mic. He's tapping the mic. He's moving pieces of the crime scene. He's allowing Terrell Farnsworth to touch the chair to set it up that Charlie was murdered on. And then he stands on it, takes the SD card. Chief Long's like right there when that's happening. So they don't lock down the crime scene. They don't make sure that all of the security staff isn't walking through the freaking grass, picking random things up out of the grass. And then they allow the crime scene to not be thoroughly, documented and the evidence collected. And then they completely destroy it and then cover it up by Sunday. And so I don't think it's innocent why the FBI was involved in all these things, and why did him and Governor Cox, Kash Patel and Governor Cox, have any part in hiring or speeding up, you know, the landscapers to come and completely, you know, cover up the crime scene. I think it's super sus.
And I think they seized, I think they played, in my opinion, I think they played a part in seizing all of the camera footage. You know, I think they're the reason UVU has hundreds of cameras, but we don't have anything.
100%.
They seized the hospital camera footage.
Yep.
The precinct or whatever Tyler Robinson walked into, we can't find that footage. There's footage of Tyler Robinson in that Plaza parking lot around 12:45 before he went to the car wash. There's text messages from that girl that worked at that store saying the FBI went inside of their place and seized all of their footage. But you know, these are things that just don't get brought up in I don't know, trial, charge or not. We don't have anything like that.
No.
But we know that these things have happened. The FBI having a hand in all of these different, you know, kind of sound small but very large things, because they all add up.
Yeah. I'm almost positive the FBI had plainclothes officers at the event. Okay. Because like we see a lot of guys that draw their sidearm that we never really find out what department. We do know some are security, right? On Charlie Kirk's security team, there's some plainclothes officers, local law enforcement that are there. Yes, there are just some bystanders that are carrying. They have concealed carries, and you know, it's Utah. Yep. But there's also some that seem to be some sort of federal agent of some kind that are there, that I think before any local law enforcement could do their due diligence, made sure to swoop up all potential, incriminating camera footage. And in fact, I'm sure that they confiscated the dash cam footage from that one officer, because remember, Brian Harpel says they picked up a tail. A local PD was following them on the way to the hospital. And so that dash cam footage for sure was taken, because that would show who opened the car door, how long it was open. Was Charlie still alive trying to get out? Was Brian Harpel really hanging out of the side car door like he says? Where the heck is that footage? Yeah. And then the hospital footage, like,
Right. Yep. 100%.
Did we ever find out, was there any footage from that steakhouse that Tyler Robinson supposedly ate at near his grandma's house?
Yeah, I mean, no footage, but just allegedly the receipts that have Tyler Robinson's name and card number, debit card number, and all of that. So right, and I think Candace, I feel like I remember her saying, I don't think she said anything like the FBI went down there. Oh, she said the FBI wasn't interested in pulling that camera footage and
Correct.
bringing that to our attention.
Right. Yep. Also, the time, so like that place is over like 3 hours away. Okay.
Right.
And he supposedly made it there. And then because he came back as well, right? Because he came back like the next day, that he made it there in like 2 hours and like, I don't know, some crazy, he would have had to been driving so incredibly fast and never got pulled over once, while there's a manhunt in Utah and they're looking for people, and he's doing like 100 on the freeway is insane.
Right.
Yeah. There's so much. Do you know when, I think, Entheogenic Esquire, he's the lawyer that's been on, with Adam. I see you're doing a show with Adam Thomas. I think it's tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Entheo has also been on this show. He's a lawyer. He's a really cool guy. There's an upcoming, when's the next court hearing? It's coming up.
It is coming up. I think
when it is?
this month too. Wait, no, it's the 28th. So June
19th. June 18th or 19th. Yeah, I think so. Can you Google it real quick?
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Zamet. What up? I missed you last night, Zamet. I didn't see you. Joe Kent did what after FBI stopped him? Nothing. Tulsi Gabbard, not Patel boss. Yeah. So like when the FBI shut him and his department down, he couldn't do anything else. The FBI was the ones with access to the information and the evidence and the leads and the boots on the ground there. I guess I don't know why. Maybe it's never been answered. Why couldn't they still have hunted down the leads, the foreign tie leads?
I think he said they shut off his access to the Charlie Kirk investigation.
But wouldn't he have already had those leads? Like, wouldn't he know what those leads are? Couldn't he have just
maybe if he's doing something out of his command now that he's been stripped from the case, maybe that would be like kind of like out of his, I don't know how that works. I don't know if you can get fired for doing something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible, right? Like if they tell you no, you're done, and you keep doing it, it's possible.
Right.
You could get in trouble. I also know, like within the military, you have like CAT cards. You have your military ID cards, and they have like, we had RFID chips in our military cards long before RFID chips ever were on our little, how you can tap to pay now with your, those are RFID chips, right? Like I've had those on my military ID back in 2005. Okay.
Wow.
That's like that technology's been around for a long time. And so to sign into a computer at work on base, you put your ID card like this, because it's like in the bottom, you slide it into the keyboard, and it reads your clearance, like your permissions to access that, whatever database, where you're at. It's possible that like with his specific cat card, he would be allowed access, but also be restricted access on his work devices. And like, it's possible that they just shut down his ability to access anything related to the case. And so I think that's definitely possible. But Zamet, help me out here. Are you being a little like sarcastic? Like Joe Kent did what after FBI stopped him? Nothing. Correct. I think he did he did nothing officially, but then he left and he blew the whistle on everything. Tulsi Gabbard, not Patel boss. I don't know what you mean by that. What Joe was saying was Patel was the director of the FBI, and the FBI is the department that shut him down in this investigation. He wasn't, Joe Kent wasn't saying that Kash Patel is his boss, okay? Because I'm pretty sure Tulsi Gabbard would be above him. But he was shut down access and being allowed to continue to investigate the Charlie Kirk assassination. I guess what you're implying possibly is that why didn't he just go to Tulsi Gabbard and ask her to get involved and just give she's above him. So like she could have just been like, screw what Kash Patel's saying, continue investigating. But I also know further in this interview, he talks about Tulsi Gabbard because she being above him felt the reason why she didn't leave when a lot of these things started happening was that she could still affect change where she was at. But that also meant she kind of still had to play the game a little bit. And that's why she didn't come out and support Joe or confirm the things he was saying. Maybe she will now that she's leaving,
Right.
And so I recommend everyone go watch that episode with Clint Russell and Joe Kent. There's a lot in there.
I'm definitely going to go back and watch it. It says his hearing is, I'm getting July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And is that the preliminary hearing is in July?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Hey wife, if you're here, text me the thing you sent me from or the thing that you showed me from Entheogenic Esquire saying about an upcoming hearing that's coming up soon, because July, that's like a month. That's a month away.
Right.
Let's see. We got Zamet, Tulsi, boss of all 17 agencies. Correct. Right. So like, why couldn't she have overrode Chappelle? I mean, Patel. Kash. Well, because I'm a little dyslexic, so I put Kash Patel together. Patel. Patel. Yeah, she could have overrode him and said, and so why didn't Joe go directly to Tulsi? Maybe he did. I don't know. I know that a lot more hopefully will come out in the next couple of weeks now that she's leaving. Maybe he wanted to protect her. And he hasn't, he intentionally said in this interview with Clint, he did not want to throw Tulsi under the bus because she was still in there when he had left. Hopefully that kind of answers. Well, it wasn't really a question. You made a good point that Tulsi was the head of the 17 agencies, and he could have gone to her. Sorry. So when I asked you the question, did you say the preliminary hearing, the actual preliminary hearing, is for July?
That's all I'm getting. I'm getting preliminary hearing July.
It is saying prelim. Okay. Because that's where we're going to see and hear like evidence and stuff.
Right. Yeah. That's, I can't find anything in June that's coming up. So all I see is July.
Okay. I know that it is still potentially going to be postponed. Like there's still the judge. I don't know if he made the ruling yet. I think there's still like the prosecution and the defense are still communicating back and forth and with the judge on where the defense is at in their ability to mount an adequate defense for Tyler at the prelim, because they're like, we don't have the rifle. We don't have his phone. We don't have like anything. We don't even have the actual reports from the ATF and the FBI, the ballistics reports, we have their findings, we have their conclusions.
Right.
We don't have any freaking evidence of anything. How can they actually do the preliminary hearing without anything?
I don't know. I've never. I guess something like this hasn't really happened in my lifetime, but
No.
I'm just watching it unfold and watching the prosecution, take advantage of the loopholes in the system, and even how Andrew and all of them and Erica and how they're behaving and acting. As far as trying to make sure he gets the death penalty. I think Andrew Covid made a comment about if he doesn't get the death penalty, he'll be upset. And I'm like, well, that's a crazy thing to.
It might be. I don't know. Like if it's your service or mine, I apologize, man. If it's mine,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm so sorry.
I do too. I don't know what's happening, but
It's weird because my screen and my audio isn't fumbling at all. But you said you're looking at yours too on your screen, and yours is fine there.
Yeah, it's
So
I don't
weird.
know. It's weird.
Weird. Okay, re-say what you just said because it cut out, and I think it's important.
I was saying that it's the behavior even of Turning Point USA is odd. First, I said the prosecution team, taking advantage of the loopholes because I don't think they're doing anything technically illegal based under Utah state law, which then makes you think maybe that's why this had to happen in Utah.
There's a couple, yeah.
But then you look at Turning Point USA and you start looking at their behavior, and it's odd because you have Andrew Covid making comments like, if Tyler Robinson doesn't get the death penalty, he's going to be upset. That's a crazy thing to say. Where's this grace that you guys swear y'all have as far as like, oh, I forgive him in front of everybody, but
I want him dead.
Right, I want him dead, and I don't have any evidence in the world that can prove that he actually did it, or else y'all would show it. Shoot, leak a video of some clear is they mask up or whatever where we could see Tyler Robinson. That would help y'all. But it's confusing because I'm like, do y'all want to be stressed out every day? Like y'all, I think you played the reaction when we was on live last time of Blake and Andrew Covid, being like, oh, like when they said they wouldn't find out, I think 2 years or something for the real trial.
Yeah, 2028.
Right. So I'm like, how about instead of stressing yourself out, just tell us what you have that's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So that way everybody can be like, you know what? Okay. I
get it. Yeah. Yes. I agree.
Y'all got it. That's definitely him. I can't, let's go. Let's move on.
That's what's insane, right? Like, I don't know that dude, there's so much that I don't know what they know and what they think or what they believe, but like, I'll just tell them our position is if they have something that actually proves, like, is very clear that Tyler was there that day. Tyler, not Eagle Boy, not some vague, video that we can't tell who it is, but just anything that leads us to the same confidence that you're in, we would actually be defending you guys. Like, if you actually just shared whatever you swear you have that is so clear and makes you so confident to say all the crazy nonsense that you're saying, if you shared it with us, you would gain a heck ton of supporters overnight.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm waiting on it. I don't want to sit here and try to come up with theories every single day of what. Just show me what you have. I think Brandon Tatum said that one time. He was like, these people have a video of Tyler Robinson taking the shot. And I'm like, that's a lie. No, they don't. If they did, they would show that. If they had anything as far as like his face or anything like that, they wouldn't be so pressed or talking about like palm prints and, oh, look at him in the stairwell, like his hat. Right. They wouldn't be focused on any of those little things if you just had his face. You know what I mean? Just
here's the thing, like Brandon Tatum, and this is where I think that they're all part of this crazy machine, this propaganda shill, paid, fake news people. So what Brandon Tatum is actually alluding to is something that's not in one court document. It's what we assume exists. We assume that the same camera that captures him supposedly coming up over the stairs and over the railing under the roof, going behind the building, changing, then running out to the point and then low crawling. Here's what the document doesn't say. It never says, and not in one of the hearings that they've ever been in, does the prosecution say they actually have him taking the shot. And none of the documents say that. The charging document, the probable cause statement, that is the most compelling piece of physical evidence that would exist. If you have whoever it is on the roof laying down in a prone position with what looks like a rifle and then recoil with a muzzle flash, that would have been in the very, very first document ever used to even get a charge against him. Look, Your Honor, we have footage of him climbing over the railing with a rifle, going out to the shooting location, and we have him on camera shooting the rifle.
Right.
But it's nowhere. It references that they have him on camera coming on the roof, going over there, laying down, and then guess where it picks up? And it says in the next sentence, and immediately after the shot, the camera has him running and jumping off the building. They never say that they have him on camera, which is so weird. It's so weird. And like Brandon Tatum knows that. There's no way he hasn't read the documents that we've read and looked at the court hearings that we've seen. And not once, not anywhere does it say that they have that. But they want us to put all these little pieces together. Oh, they have him walking underneath and then up the staircase. Oh, and then we see this camera that clearly would have him taking the shot, but they don't show it because they don't want to taint the jury and they want to preserve his innocence. But then we're like, oh, it'll be in the documents later. And then we have the documents, not in the documents anywhere. So why?
Right.
I don't think the person on the roof shot anything.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they have that one guy that I don't think nobody's ever interviewed him of saying like, man, I have the video of the guy on the roof. He never fired a shot. You don't see any type of recoil.
Correct.
And so I don't know. It's odd. It's odd for people like Brandon Tatum to push something like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've been definitely taking kind of like a bigger picture, like step back and looking at the bigger picture as far as like, is all of this a big show? You know what I mean? Like, are all of these people in on this game that we just don't know of? Like, did something go out in this mass email in politics that says, look, Charlie's gonna die in September, and we're going to use this as some type of talking point? I don't know, something.
Yep.
Because everybody's acting strange. It's more than just one person.
Yeah.
And it's just odd that the people that are acting weird, they're cool with the people who think the complete opposite. So that doesn't, you know, we talked about it before with Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum being like super tight. And I'm like, I'm just confused. Yeah. Like it doesn't, that doesn't make sense to me at all. And I bought a membership to Brandon Tatum's page. It was like $2 because the video, it was like my real relationship with Candace Owens. And I was like, I have to listen to it. Cause like,
was that recent?
Yeah, it was about a month ago.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like $2, like 40 minutes, and it was only like half the episode where he goes into detail explaining their relationship. And I mean, it's still strange. He basically was just saying that him and Candace are still very, very, very close. They hang out all the time.
What?
And when they hang out, they don't talk about their disagreements. Like they don't talk about the things that we would expect them to be like not cool over. They just don't talk about. You know, the
only way that's true is if this is all a game. Because if she could care that much about this, and then there's this dude that's supposedly so close with her and around her kids and in her house, and this guy is literally defending the person that she thinks, that Candace thinks is part of the assassination or the cover-up. How can you pretend at all like you're okay with a person that does that? Holy smokes.
I'm right there with you. I was confused hearing it, and then it wasn't really making sense to me. I understood the perspective of, or not even a perspective. I understood him saying like he was way more close with Candace than he was with like Charlie. he says that like obviously he worked at Turning Point USA and stuff like
Yeah,
that, but he
yeah,
said
yeah.
Candace was somebody that put him on the scene. Like Candace was the person that put him on with Turning Point USA, and Candace was the person that anywhere Candace went, as far as Daily Wire, anything like that, Brandon Tatum was the first phone call. And so like he was saying that Candace Owens they've always been like this, you know, if anything ever happened to him, Candace Owens would be the person he would call. And when he said when Charlie was alive, Charlie was cool, but he was like nowhere near Candace. Candace was the girl for him, and vice versa, I guess. And so he was just explaining, like the guy that was interviewing him or whatever, I think probably one of his producers or something that was sitting down with him on the members only show. Yeah, when they went into the Candace Owens thing, he was like, the guy was like, so y'all don't like talk about, you know, Philly and Gaza, like, cause you know they disagree on that too. So like, and then yeah, Brandon Tatum was like, nah, man, like we don't talk about that stuff, you know, at all. And I'm just like, I don't know. And then the last thing I will say is I'm waiting. I think we talked about it before, so I can't say too much about it because it's still in the works. But there is this one person that used to work, you know, be affiliated with Brandon Tatum, and they are no longer. And so, you know, they reached out and was like, you know, trying to set something up so that way we can chop it up, be on the show and share whatever. But this person basically was saying that, like, yes, confirming Brandon and Candace are very, very, very close. And she was suggesting that something along the lines of like, yeah, bro, like it is all a big show. Like she was like, I think, you know, they was just hanging out last 2 weeks ago. Like, and then we talked about this conversation about a month ago. So this was further back then. But it was like, yeah, like they just hung out the other day or like something like that. And I'm like, man, you know, I don't know if it's true. I'm just saying this is somebody that is very closely affiliated with Brandon Tatum. So I don't know why this person would lie. What would they have to lie for? But I was like, man, that is the strangest thing. It is strange. That's what made me bring up earlier with Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Now, you know, I told somebody this today. I said one thing with Candace Owens, particularly, where I give her grace, and it's you know, more so I don't look at her necessarily as a game player, but the only reason is because we wouldn't be this far without a lot of her information. So it's hard to just be like, you play a game when I'm like, bro, you know how many things we have today because of Candace Owens?
Yeah.
You know, so with her, I do give her grace. Obviously, with the Brandon Tatum thing, it is very odd. But you know, until things become more revealing, I'm like, I can't, you know, I could just watch. I'll pay attention to it. If I see smoke, I'll yell fire. But at the moment, I don't really see much to say that she's playing the game. But it is odd.
Yeah. There's a couple things. I agree. Everything you just said, I agree. Let me get to a couple things because a couple people are pointing some things out. Why I looked confused when Jay was talking was, well, for one, talking about like him and Brandon and Candace still hanging out is super weird in my opinion because of everything. And I'll touch base because there's a couple comments that I'm going to bring up and that's why. But let me get to this super first. Read the Trump Truth Social post announcing the Charlie Kirk murder. He doesn't use the term. He says he's no longer alive. What term? Like the M term, like murder. He says he's no longer alive, and afterwards, extremely uncurious about the details. Well, yeah, if he already knew the details, right? If he was threatened as well, or he's part of it in some way, like.
Yeah, I think he's threatened as well. That's why he's acting so weird right now. So I think Trump is also part of the people that are scared.
Yeah. The butler, I think, was a threat. I think the golden pager thing was a threat. But here, let me get to a couple of these that came up. Okay, so great. Tatum knows her almost as long as Charlie. I don't. Yeah, but that doesn't excuse, in my well, I don't know. Actually, no, I don't know what you mean by that, Crystal. If you're just pointing that out, that they've known each other a long time. In my opinion, just because you've known someone a long time, if someone is online, and if Brandon really feels the way that he feels, and it's for real, and if Candace really feels the way that she feels, and it's for real, then I cannot make sense how these two can get together and be chummy and be hanging out and in each other's homes and not talking about this. Especially, this is personal to Candace. Charlie, her best friend, was assassinated. This guy is literal, like a counter op to all the things that she's trying to do to find his killer and hold him accountable. And Brandon is defending everyone that she's pointing out that is suspicious. And so I don't know how someone could do that if that were true. And like we said, right now it's just hearsay. So we trust Candace until the truth, whatever it is, one way or the other, comes out. So it's, and then this one said, Candace has said many times that her friendship with Brandon Tatum is more than politics. I think that scenario makes sense.
Well, the thing is, and you're right, Candace has said that before. Early days, I remember somebody asked her that at the end of one of her episodes. It was one of like the top comments or something like that, because everybody was like, "Are you hearing what Brandon Tatum is saying about you?"
Yeah.
And so yeah, she did say that she won't touch that because he's like a brother to her. And he used to say the same thing as well. He used to never name drop Candace, and he would just pretty much say, "Hey, if you think like," and he would say the entire theory of Candace and say, "If you think like this, you're an idiot." So that's basically implying Candace was an idiot.
Correct.
But he then started to name drop, and I'm trying to be cautious here. This person said that one, and I kind of believe it because it came at a. All right, I knew something was finna happen. I'm literally looking at my screen. I knew something was gonna happen. It came at an odd time, so I kind of believe it. But this person said that the reason he had to start name dropping was like some type of humiliation ritual. Like you know how Ben Shapiro was like,
Yes.
when he was on somebody's podcast, he was like, "Say her name, say her
Yes.
name."
Yes.
So Brandon Tatum at one point in time never mentioned Candace's name, but now moving forward, probably like a couple of months ago and moving forward, he started name dropping Candace this, Candace that, Candace this, Candace that. So from where I'm coming from, my perspective, when the name dropping started to happen, that's when I was like, okay, now we're sitting here, you're name dropping, but then y'all are gonna hang out on the weekend. That doesn't really make any sense at all.
No.
Just like Matt said, I don't really understand that dynamic, only because of how hard he also goes on the people who think like Candace. So it's like, how does that even, But you are correct. I forgot who just had that comment up there. You are correct. Candace, she's never said anything bad about Brett Queen. She's never said anything bad about Brandon Tatum. She's kept it real solid for this whole time.
Yep. But Brandon hasn't, and that's what's weird.
Right.
Right. And not only that, not even just like has he said stuff about her, what he is doing is seeking to put to death and imprison someone that at this point seems to be innocent. And so he is actively working in the complete opposite direction of what Candace is, like, literally her blood, sweat, and tears every day is going into. And how can you eat lunch with someone? How can you go and have them at your house and be like, "What up, bro?" Like, how could you not be like, "What the frick are you doing on your show this week, you literal moron? We're freaking basically family." How could that not come up?
Yeah. And then
I can't do that. I'm so ask anyone that knows me. When I just wear everything on my face and my sleeve. Like, I'm not a fake person. I suck at it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, if it was any other, if it was typical, and I see Kiera Michelle, you said, where do you watch that? It was, well, the first is two parts to it. Brandon Tatum talking about his relationship with Candace and how they hang out and stuff like that. That was on his members only episode on his YouTube channel. You just pay like $2. And it's odd because that was the only episode and only thumbnail where he titled my relationship with Candace Owens, and you got to pay for it.
That's
So
interesting.
I paid for it. That was very strange, but I paid for it. It's only $2. That was where he only just talked about how they are super cool, and they do know. And he admits that they do talk to each other behind the scenes way more than we think and stuff like that.
Huh.
What I'm referring to as far as this humiliation ritual with him name dropping and you know, him and Candace hung out not too long ago, even though he also said it on his pod, was a person that was affiliated with Brandon Tatum that is no longer affiliated with Brandon Tatum. And that person was telling me the ins and outs of what it was like being close to Brandon Tatum. So that's two different things. That part is nowhere.
Right. This is Andy said, I can't believe Candace would still talk to him, but him putting it on a member show is sus too. Yeah, I agree. And then where's this one? This one I don't agree with. Okay, they're business partners. This has been reported. No, that doesn't explain this dynamic, right? Business partners don't hang out at each other's houses on the weekends, like, and are like playing with your kids, like, you know, okay, maybe like an occasional business partner, but then at that point you're friends. You're not, you don't say that's my business partner. This person you're talking to daily, that, you know, you are, you know, having at your house, you're going to their house. Like maybe you started as business partners, but at that point now you're friends, right? And them knowing each other as long as they've known each other, you can't say that'd be like saying Charlie and Candace were business partners when they worked together. Okay, they worked together, but they were friends. And I would say the same thing is true with Brandon Tatum and Candace. Yes, they probably have business relationships, but what they both have said is that they're more than that. And that's weird because they literally are like opposite on this, which is the most important thing. She's the tip of the spear, finding out who the heck took out Charlie. And you know, you got Gary Melton, Graham Allen, Ben Shapiro, Brandon Tatum, and like all of them. They're the tip of the spear on behalf of TPUSA and Erika Kirk trying to railroad Tyler Robinson. So I don't know how I don't know how you could.
Yeah. I agree. I think what is that? Andy is watching.
This one?
Yeah. Let's see. This is more than politics. It's a murder. If Candace hangs out with him, I don't trust her, but we need receipts. Well, you know, again, and I'm not at all trying to stir anything up. This is normal people just talking. But again, this is Brandon Tatum on his podcast saying me and Candace hang out.
Yes.
It's there. I'm not, this isn't a rumor at all. I paid money to hear that information on his show. But you are 100% correct. This is more than politics. That's where I come from. That's why I'm so critical of Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly. Some people that don't really want to touch those conversations, because what I'm thinking of is a person is dead. You know, Charlie is dead. So this whole, Tucker is holding his cards close to his chest. He knows more, but he chooses not to say much. I'm like, no, that's strange. Somebody's dead, and we're over here trying to play a little game outside of maybe the idea that all of them are being threatened. That I'm open to. But if we're not believing that, which, again, we got to think about how if Brandon Tatum and Candace is weird, we got to think about how many people are also doing the same thing. That's the same exact conversation between Tucker and Erika Kirk. 100%. It's the same thing. 100%. So, you know, I 1000% agree with you. It is more than politics, at least for us. And unless we have to throw out there that this is all a show, and maybe all of them got the MO last year saying this is going to happen in September, and we're just going to, you know, do whatever. I don't know what these games that these people play. But that's 100% why I think I get so worked up about it all, because I'm just like, this is somebody dying. You know, this isn't no conversation or a topic between the left and the right, and then people just go at each other and all that stuff. I'm like, somebody's dead, bro. Charlie's dead. Yep. And I feel like in his final days, when I see those text messages of him sending out to people, when I know that he was texting people that, you know, they were going to kill me, to me, that seemed like he was genuinely worried for his life.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like, I don't think that was fake.
Fake,
So when I
no.
see other people using it as a game and they're like, I'm not gonna say nothing because it's strange, bro.
Yeah. Bro, have you ever like well, I guess we're moving quick today because it's both of us and the conversation's moving. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Okay, okay.
What do you think they're talking about right now?
I don't know. I mean, the last thing I saw was the Brandon Tatum thing. That was the last thing I saw.
No, I bet you couldn't even guess if like I give you like 50 guesses. I think they're talking about the fires in Hawaii.
There's a fire in Hawaii.
No, the one from years ago where when the blue umbrellas didn't melt, anything blue didn't melt. Remember the bad fires that like burnt the whole island?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you guys are talking about? Because it says like my house is made of redwood. No, and the blue umbrellas. And it says, did you hear about the blue roofs? They were immune. I heard something like that.
Oh, I see.
When did you guys get on to
Bro, that's crazy.
When did you guys get on to the major laser? Yeah, the satellite laser that was like a Russian satellite that flew over. When did you guys get onto the Hawaii fires?
Bro, we over here going on a full rant about Brandon Tatum. They said talking about Hawaii.
Jim Bear, the chat is on fire. Like literally, you guys crack me up. I would love to see like how did that morph? From where did it go? Because you guys were on board. You guys were going back and forth with Brandon Tatum. Let's see. Okay, something about a microwave. Oh my gosh. Wait, the last one I see is it's a respect thing. Candace may not like what he says, but respects him as odd as it is. And then I think the next one talks about, can you get that much power there? I think drone defense could be real. I can't even see where you guys started. I have to go back even further because there's probably multiple conversations going on in the chat. Because like it's like a couple people are talking with a couple people, and then these other couple people are talking with a couple people. So, but you guys crack me up, man.
And I'm addressing mine. I do see people talking about she doesn't talk with Brandon Tatum and all of that stuff. And again, I think that they obviously disagree with one another on that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing out that it's just very strange that Brandon Tatum specifically, Candace Owens, to me, in this type, outside of maybe them hanging out in person again, outside of that, because I think that would be kind of weird. As far as what we know on the internet, she has never said a bad thing about Brandon Tatum. She has never called him out, but
correct.
Brandon Tatum has done the complete opposite. So
right.
That's where we're coming from, is as far as Brandon Tatum bashing Candace and bashing, because that's why I say the humiliation ritual. That is, I'm not going to say that's a fact, but somebody told me that. And when you go look at the timeline, he does go from never mentioning Candace to then mentioning Candace by name. And then she starts doing that. So when he started doing that, that's very strange to then hang out afterwards.
So would that be like, wait, so how would the humiliation ritual work? Like someone forced him to do it as a means to humiliate him?
Yeah, because it's more so like, again, the best kind of example I can give you is that one interview that I think Candace had on her show, where Ben Shapiro was trying to force, and I think it was her godfather or something, but it was somebody, and he was trying to force them to say Candace Owens. And he was like, and he was like, I'm not gonna say Candace Owens. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
You're not gonna force me to say her name.
Right.
That is what they're doing to Brandon Tatum. So he was tiptoeing around the name, just saying, if you think like that, and then now moving forward, bro, he says Candace like straight up.
Yeah.
And when they told me that, I was like, that's strange, because he did randomly start name dropping.
Huh. We also should go back in the timeline and see when that started. Like what else was going on when that started. Jay, are you saying so not Jay, you yapper Jay, JC2R2J. Are you saying you're the ringleader of the Hawaii fire conversation? You guys remember The Office? Ryan started the fire. We're gonna sing Jay started the fire. That was you. You were the one started that whole thing. It looks like. I don't know. I think, or you're saying Jim did? Jim Bear? Jim Bear's I'm gonna have a talk with Jim Bear. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. It's hilarious. All right. Wait, I have a question about that. Has Candace ever said anything about where their relationship is? Is she still on good terms with him? Has she said she is or is not talking to him? Has Candace said they are still good? Has she ever said anything recently about him on either side, either way?
Yeah, the last thing I remember was quite some time ago, and that's when her chat was being kind of like flooded because all of us was completely shocked. These are two people that I think I told you. There it is. All right, I might be okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon and Candace is who I listen to all the time, and then I just knew Charlie's name, but I didn't listen to his content. So when they first started butting heads, that was very strange. So the chat started getting flooded, but she hasn't said anything in a while. The last time she said something was months ago, and the only thing she said was Brandon Tatum is like a brother to me, and we don't
I remember that.
talk about like we don't go there with politics or something like that. You know, I leave that out or something like that. However, that's the last thing she said anything like kind of like directly at Brandon Tatum.
Yeah.
The most recent episode she just played with BB going on his America tour.
Yes.
She throws in there that Brandon Tatum was one of the people that he interviewed with.
That's true. And she put his face on the screen.
Yeah, and it was kind of like a little jab because then she was like, look at all of these podcasters that want this. So that was a little like, you know, I definitely peeped. I didn't say much about it, but I was like, that was the first time she said something about it.
She clapped back a little. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely wasn't a positive shout out.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
But she's kept it, you know, nowhere near like Brandon Tatum. Brandon Tatum has went off I could not believe how much he talked bad about Candace. And that's why I was like, and they hang out? Like this dude be bashing her, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, and he's made himself very he's been very clear on what he feels about Mitch Snow and Fort Huachuca. Joe Kent, he called him not a hero. Like, I mean, and then all these vets came out. One guy was like, I think someone caught Brandon doing something on his forward facing camera. Because how do you call someone that's got like 7 Bronze Stars and, you know, like he was a Delta Force Green Beret or whatever, you know, Special Forces guy, 11 combat tours. How do you call someone like that a not a hero? You know, like it just was insane, you know. And he said similar things about Tucker, like just really, really nasty things about Tucker too.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the, you know, I don't want it to be true, obviously, because I feel like out of everybody in the political space in the Charlie Kirk investigation, I think that's why so many people rock with Candace is because she is the closest to like a normal person to us.
I agree
because she seems like her emotions are genuine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like real politics, that is the game. Like we're gonna pretend like we hate each other. Yeah. And then get clicks. And then, you know, the whole time we're hanging out behind closed doors. We make fun of that all the time when it comes to like the left wing and the right wing. They do that all the time.
Correct.
So when I hear Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens hanging out, I'm like, hold on, that's the same game that Candace tells us to look out for. You know what I mean? Right. Like, or Tucker Carlson and Erika Kirk are somehow cool. We're like, hold on now, that's literally the same game as pretending to disagree with each other, but yet y'all are, you know, having a glass of wine together behind closed doors. So like, it's just, it's odd. It's odd. I don't want to believe that that's happening. Again, no proof at all that Candace is playing the game. I just think, you know, again, personally, and I'm sure probably all of us can agree that I wouldn't hang out with somebody that talks like that about me or anybody that thinks like me online, especially when it comes to somebody being dead in the situation.
100%. And so when she said that her and Brandon don't talk politics, that doesn't. So the Charlie Kirk investigation, assassination is not about politics, though.
Yeah, it's not.
That's very personal. This is different. So I could get it if, like, say that he was in a different camp politically, and there is no Charlie Kirk investigation, and Candace is in a different camp politically, but they're friends personally. But during the week, they go, hard at each other online politically at different, spectrum. But then on the weekend they hang out. Okay, fine, whatever. I don't agree with that still. That's part of the game that everyone's saying that we shouldn't be buying into and be persuaded by. And that's what the mainstream left and right news media has been doing with us for the longest time, pitting us against each other. However, that's not what this is, right? Like, she's trying to investigate and uncover who killed Charlie Kirk. And this guy is actively working against her. So I don't know how that statement could cover this scenario. You know what I mean? This isn't politics.
Yeah.
This is something different.
That's how I see it. It's more than politics. Somebody's dead. But if they're treating the death of Charlie as a political conversation, that's strange. You know what I mean? That's very, very strange. And I don't know. I hope that is not true, but I guess we'll see. Again, I'm going to give her to settle it all. And my final thing again is I will give Candace grace.
Yes.
Because we would not know. We wouldn't be halfway like through where we are now without Candace's information.
I agree.
And even though some things was kind of like left off, on a cliff, we don't know. We didn't get to really get the full recap or rundown of everything that she gives us. But, I think at the end of the day, we wouldn't be nowhere close to where we are now without her. So if they're playing some type of game, hey, keep playing so we can get something from her, because she's the only one telling us something.
Yeah, and that's true too. Like, we wouldn't really have anything if it wasn't for her. We do have other podcasters that are investigating other parts of this, but not the things that she has brought to us. And it does seem like she's circling back on things now. Like, she brought up the Egyptian planes and she brought up the French connection. And there's things that I think she's circling back to. And maybe it took a while to, hunt these leads down to their beginning point. Let me play this real quick, because I think this is where he shows the clip. Let me see.
Epstein saying that where there's this pedophile class that Trump is allied to, essentially. And I think Charlie would have been, as you said, very frustrated.
Yeah, probably frustrated that Massey wants them all in handcuffs. It's terrible, is what Charlie would think, according to them. TPUSA.
Yeah, so I just wanted the part where he's literally. So this is what they do, okay? Anytime there is a conflict now in the present day with something that Charlie publicly opposed when he was alive, like Jeffrey, okay, and the files and accountability and justice, what they do is, and they did the same thing with Iran and the war in Iran, is they connect it to Trump and say, well, no, because Charlie, above everything else, trusted Trump. And when Trump did something that Charlie didn't agree with or see eye to eye on, he reverted to just saying, okay, but I trust Trump. So I don't agree with this, but I'll trust Trump on this. They did that with Iran, and they're doing it now with Jeffrey. And they said the same thing, like, okay, yes, right. But he goes, oh, but they're trying to connect it to Trump. So he put this whole thing about the Jeffrey files and said that the reason why Charlie would not want accountability and transparency is because, oh, it's all BS, because now they're connecting it to Trump, and Charlie trusted Trump above all else. No, sorry, dude. Charlie clearly would change his mind as new information came in, and everything that's happened since his assassination has completely changed all of our perspectives on this administration, on Trump, on the Jeffrey files, on the war in Iran, on everything. And you better believe Charlie was more well-connected and smarter than me. His position would have changed even more so, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think and I found that clip and I'll play it for you. I think Charlie, just like everything else that we know towards the end of his life, changed his mind.
Yes.
So I think there was a period in time where he oh, my Wi-Fi. It's just I'm just blaming on me. There was a period of time where Charlie was very, he followed Trump in blind faith, I think,
For sure.
sometimes on certain topics and trusted him in certain things. And even when it comes down to some huge events like, Go Max to Tucker Carlson and all these other, and Megyn Kelly that was there. Megyn Kelly said on her podcast that Charlie specifically said Go Max to them because he didn't want to say anything because of how close he was with the administration. So
Yeah.
that would line up with, not to the magnitude that Blake and Andrew Covid make it seem like, but that does line up with, behind closed doors, Charlie may have been upset, but, on TV, he may have made it seem like it was okay. Now, again, it depends on the topic, but,
Right.
I think there was a period of time where Charlie was like, hey, I trust my friends, and I'm going to play it for you right here. Let me pull
Okay.
it up.
Yeah,
Because he
throw it
did
into
say
the
that about
studio.
the files. He did say he trusts his friends and he's going to leave it up to them. And that's when I was like, wow, okay.
That bothers me. I've never seen it.
But again,
I
he
don't like it.
changed his mind when it mattered, but
That's
if
true.
it's too late. But
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't believe it. Let me get it pulled up.
Okay. All right. While you pull it up, I'm going to read this real quick.
All right.
Our Love said, did either of you guys see what Megyn Kelly said on Hodge twins? Yes. Both myself and Jay did a whole episode on it. So she said Charlie was about to start returning donations to Jewish Zio billionaires. Yeah.
Yeah, he was through it though.
Yep. That was later in the. I didn't play that portion on my episode because the parts that I really wanted to hone in on was how she was flip flopping on everything. Like out of one side says one thing and then says the other. Bro, are you able to be that still, or did it freeze again? Oh, okay. I was like, you're not blinking, bro. How are you not moving?
This is so crazy.
But hey, I'll tell you this though, when it freezes, I still hear you. There's only been a couple times where the
Okay.
audio skips. Only a
Got
couple
it.
times the audio actually skips. But for the most part, your audio stays good. It's just you're frozen for a little bit.
Okay.
All right, you're added.
Okay.
With the matter.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend.
Make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares. I think
A lot. I said a lot. Every hand.
he did have a lot to say this weekend, but now he's trusting his friends in the government. Fox News host Laura Ingraham, who also raised questions about the Epstein investigation over the weekend, is now actually scolding other conservative influencers for still discussing it, as if
So that was the main thing, is that, you see the title is some Trump loyalists continue to question Trump. Wait, no, actually it was right here. High profile Trump loyalists who raise questions about Epstein files fall in line and say they're moving on. And it was clipped up. So, we already know how that goes with clip culture in the news. So he could have said way more. That's for us to go and find that full
I'm gonna
context. But he didn't say that often, where he was like, I'm done talking about it. I trust my friends in the government. He didn't say that all the time.
And also he didn't say he trusts them. He says, like, I'll trust that they're gonna do their job.
They're gonna do their
Like,
job.
I trust that they're gonna do the right thing. They're gonna investigate this. Like, I trust that they've got this handled and they're gonna do the right thing. He didn't say like, I trust, and I mean, I guess in that sense he does trust them to do the right thing, but it's not the same as saying like, I trust all of them and I believe that none of them are implicated and none of them are in on it and none of them have any skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, it's tough because he was also somebody that told us all the time to not trust the government. So it's tough to say I trust, and it could be the friends part as well. Like he thought his friends that was in the government, maybe they were a little different than the general government.
Yeah.
So he could have been being very specific about a group of people that he thought he could trust. But I mean, he I don't know how long that I don't know what date that was and all of that. But yeah, that was tough.
Have you heard of confirmation bias?
Yes.
Charlie was a human. Like, he was smart, probably mildly autistic or, super high functioning to some degree on the spectrum, and very articulate and a good person, but he's human. So that means he would be susceptible to confirmation bias, to, not seeing certain things that are right in front of him, that because he knows some of these people in other contexts and on a personal level, he will probably overlook or not even see certain things that to us are clear red flags. And we know that's the case with Mikey McCoy, Blake Neff, Andrew Colvett, because at his last interview before the UVU, at that restaurant interview, he literally says he would go to war with the people that are on his team. Like, he trusts them. Like, he literally said that before they walked him to his death, before Mikey McCoy and Blake Neff got him in the car, and Brian Harpole and Dan Flood are there. They're just off stage because they're all with him. They all go to the event, so they're with him at that event. They literally walk him to the slaughter, and he literally on stage was like, I freaking trust these guys would go to war with him, while they are either knowingly or in some compartmentalized way taking part in his assassination. Is just nuts. So, like, obviously he had some major weaknesses in not seeing the freaking wolves that are in the hen house, Ugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you cut out for me in the last. Man.
Wait. So I'm cutting out on your end?
Yeah.
But you're not cutting out on your end.
No, I'm not cutting. Well, no. Now I am. At first I wasn't.
Okay.
But now my entire screen is cutting out.
Getting
And it's just StreamYard. Like, I have two screens up of something else completely playing, and it has not cut off once this entire 2 hours. But StreamYard, I don't know if it's the dual links, maybe it's like working a little hard. I don't know, but
interesting. I haven't paid attention. I haven't looked at my my monitor screen that monitors the live on YouTube. I've been focusing on this. That's a good point. Next time it starts to glitch, I'll look. But you're saying, so what's happening when it's glitching on StreamYard? What does it look like on YouTube? It looks fine.
It at first it was, but now it buffers.
Oh, it's thinking. Okay.
Yeah, it's buffered on YouTube, but then, like I said, I have another screen that's playing an NBA game, and it's not buffered one time. So it's weird. It's literally only StreamYard and YouTube doing something to me right now.
Yeah, well, and I know they've had issues. Like, there was a time where I was about to go live, and Zach was about to go live, and it wasn't allowing you to. Like, StreamYard wasn't going to allow you to go live, like, through StreamYard into YouTube. It was like doing something weird. And then I asked them, because it was like, it wouldn't let me save. When you set up your video and the title and the description, and then you hit go, and then it pulls you into the studio. Well, before it pulls you into the studio, it has to let you hit save to pull you into the studio. And it wasn't letting me do that. And it was like, there's an issue. We're trying to work it out. And I was like, Zach, are you going to go live? Like, you're going live in 5 minutes. StreamYard's like saying it. So, and I know YouTube has similar issues. Like, I get these notifications all the time where it's like, it's saying all sorts of crazy stuff. Known issues for lives or video uploads. So, yeah, they're always having issues.
Right.
Somebody
said that streams on this topic always lag horribly.
Oh, how funny. Yeah, I believe that. Or when I do anything that has the word Philly, but not Philly, the real name in it,
Right.
Yeah. definitely some videos underperform than others. Let's see, is this where I got it? I think this is a short clip of him saying something about Charlie, and it may not even be that important, but this is from today. Wait, let me see the timestamp, because actually I remember he says something in the beginning. What do I have? 20, I think it's at 2050. Okay, 2050. Let me go to the beginning right here.
Believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
All right, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. It's May 28th, 2026. We're here in Phoenix, Arizona at the Y-Refi Studios. How we doing, Blake?
We're doing lovely.
Yep, we got news this morning that broke from Axios, and it's a potentially massive, massive deal, and that is the U.S. and Iran reach deal for a 60-day peace ceasefire, but need Trump's final approval, officials say. So the way that...
So they've been doing this, I guess, like every week, right? Like on Thursday or Friday, they'll be like either there's no deal or there's a peace deal. And then like over the weekend, something else. And then like on Monday or Sunday, the peace deal falls through. And I think it's their way. And do you know that the Trump administration is being investigated for weird investments and like fraud in the stock market and everything right now?
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah. And it seems to coincide with war, continuing to break out, or a peace deal coming about and then a peace deal falling through. And it's like, these people are, I don't know. They're the new Fox News, in my opinion. I don't. It's just so sad. I think that's what Charlie stood in the way of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said before, I think in the last time we talked, it doesn't make sense if Charlie was here today. It just wouldn't make sense. All of these people wouldn't be doing what they're doing. People wouldn't be talking the way that they're talking. We probably wouldn't even know anything about Erika Kirk. All of it would have still been in the dark. So, I mean, it's crazy what his death did in so many different ways.
Yeah. All right. What time is it there, dude? Are you tired?
12:30. Yeah, I'm a vampire, but when I do 2 days in a row of being a vampire, I'd definitely be exhausted.
Well, I don't know. I think we're at a good ending point, but I can do the rest without you. Like I can show the Charlie Kirk clips and all that, unless you want to hang out for that. But I mean, it's just me showing more clips.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably hit the sheets, and I'm gonna keep you on my phone though. I'm gonna be tapped in the comments.
All right, cool. All right, man. Thank you.
Well,
so
I
much.
appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you collabing as usual and getting together. Yeah. I think we was long overdue. We were supposed to be like 2 weeks. I think this time it went like 3, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate you so much, and thank you so much for coming on, dude.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. I'll talk to you soon. BLC, man. I'll see y'all.
Bye. All right, guys. For those of you, let's see. Let me pull up Jay's channel real quick and make sure that for those of you that maybe don't know, let's go here. Well, that's me. That's not what I'm trying to do. Let me go to Jay's channel. There we go. All right, let me share here. Wait. Oh, I got to add it to the screen. My bad. All right. So for those of you that either joined late or maybe have never caught me when I've had Jay on, this is Jay Yapper. Me and him have done quite a few, like 3 or 4 shows together. I don't know if this is the 3rd or the 4th, but super good guy. This is his channel, Christian guy. Yeah, super honest, integral person, stand-up human being, and is, I think, on the right side, which is on our side of this investigation, trying to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk. So if you haven't done so already, head over there, give him a subscribe, And this is what you have to do. After you hit subscribe, you got to click on this again, and then you have to hit all. If you don't hit all, it usually leaves you like either none or personalized, which is nothing unless you personalize it. So you got to make sure you hit personalize. Okay. All right. There's another video I want to show you guys. And then if the mods are here, could somebody send me a end of the show Charlie Kirk clip? Let me get to this. Our love. Think how bad it would have gotten for all of them. I agree. Erika sold mansion after just having babies, right? McCoy, Blake, Andrew, Tyler, and all TPUSA. If Charlie returned donations, they thought Charlie betrayed them. That's a very, very good point. Super interesting. Where exactly too do you where did you hear that he either did or was going to return donations? Because I would love to see that piece of intel. Bagpipes and those drums, maybe it's a past life, I feel. No, he's Scottish. Charlie Kirk was Scottish. That's why he had the bagpipes and the snare drums in the beginning. Jay is awesome, Queen. Jay is awesome. You know, I'll say this. Hold on. Let me do something first, and then I gotta fix something, and then so 20. I'm not gonna get it perfect, so it's like 20. We'll go there.
refi.com for complete details. Make sure you review the private placement memorandum and scan that QR code right there on your screen to view the disclosures at your leisure. Why refi? Investing in America's future. All right. So here's the deal. We've got hardliners on our side as well here at home. So, and Blake, I know you're very cognizant of this. We both are. We're watching. There's certain people, I'm not going to name all of them, but some of them are my friends and some of them are not my friends. But let's just use Lindsey Graham as a stand-in for all of them. Lady Graham. So these people will not be happy until all we do is drop bombs all over foreign countries. And, you know.
That's literally your position, my dude. It was 2450. Sorry.
They looked at President Trump, and you could look at 1,000 different videos online. Probably half of them are from Charlie. The peace president. The no new wars president. That's what they want. They want domestic focus.
Ultimately, it was just they thought.
Well, it was a short clip of him saying, but it goes to the point where he's saying that Charlie was and would be still just a staunch and ardent supporter of Trump, no matter what Trump said or did now. Charlie did then, and he would still be always and forever a forever Trumper, no matter what. And I call malarkey on that. You know, Trump hadn't done anything major yet, right? Think back to September, like Pam Bondi was still in, like all of the things that really have turned us all against this administration and believing that they are transparent and honest and upstanding and Christian all happened after Charlie was assassinated. Like everything happened after Charlie was gone. And to think that Charlie would still be in that seat, you know, tooting the Trump horn and supporting Trump to the end, I call BS. 100%, you know. So let me go to here. Do I not have any wait, where's the one from the other day? Here we go. I think this one's different. Yeah, let me pause. Let me share. Where is that? Here? Yeah, let me make it bigger.
My entire life, I've had reverence for the American justice system. Now I believe it is corrupt to the bone. I do not believe that America's justice system is any longer the greatest on the planet. In fact, I think it is a great flaming disgrace to our country. The daughter of this judge makes millions of dollars off raising money for Adam Schiff and the Senate Majority PAC. And Trump has to sit there. For what? Because of business records in the midst of a political campaign. The first former president in American history to have to sit through such a trial. It's outrageous. And then you got the Harry Potter girl out there. Well, Donald Trump made me very anxious because he wanted to deport my sister. Well, what are you talking about? Oh, he mishandled COVID-19 because I'm immunocompromised. Where's your mask? Oh, but I'm unbiased. That is like the perfect. You want to know why New York politics are all messed up? You just have a picture of her.
Yeah. Let me go back. Let's see. Oh, wait, let me make it not as big so that I don't put my email and anyone that's emailed me privately on blast. All right, let me go here. Pause. Am I still sharing? I am. All right, cool.
I did enjoy last week, but it was not a vacation. I was on assignment for the most important thing that one can do except giving your life to Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. Erika and I and our family were celebrating the birth of our son. Children are a gift from the Lord, and we were celebrating. And so we have been very sleep deprived. So it's not exactly been, let's just say, going down to Cabo San Lucas. Plus we have our other little one, our 20-month-old, who is running around and causing all sorts of havoc. But I think we have a picture to show up on screen here. And I got to just be honest, it is the most important, most fulfilling, most challenging thing I have ever done and we have ever done. And we are filled with so much joy and thrilled, and he's super healthy. Praise God. And Erika's just doing amazing.
100%. So you guys, Charlie was really married to Erika Kirk. Okay. Charlie was who we all believe him to be. He had real children that are his biological children. And yeah, he wasn't faking anything. And it's sad. It's the saddest thing that's happened in a very long time. But he was robbed of his life and assassinated and stolen from all of us. And don't let anyone ever tell you anything to the contrary, because it's just total BS. So, yeah. All right, let me go back. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Mystic. Let me pull this up. Pause. Oh, we saw this one. This is the same chick from yesterday. I've actually played that one a few times. So let me go to this next one. Pause. All right. Oh, this is a good one. This is a debate. I don't think I've shared this, so let me share this one.
In the conflict of Israel versus Hamas, who's the good guy?
I believe both Hamas and the Israeli government are evil, but I think also that there is no justification.
Are they equally?
There is no justification for the murder and mutilation of thousands of innocent people and children.
Let's
hear him out. There is no justification, Mr. Kirk, for invading hospitals, for bombing innocent populations and dragging out a war which is damaging Israel and the West's security.
You've made that point, but
it's not a point; it's a moral truth, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. It was also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Let me finish. I let you talk. Israel, at its holiest day of the calendar year, besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah,
That's Dan Flood right there. Mikey McCoy's right there. I wonder who else is here that we can't see just off screen, but you got Mikey McCoy and Dan Flood are right there. Just so you guys know, the gentleman across from Charlie is autistic. I can say that 100%. So he's engaging in a STEM. His jumping up and doing what he's doing. It's not because he's like unstable or deranged or something. He's autistic and he's stemming. Okay. So just give him a little grace for that. Okay.
The 50-year anniversary of the Six-Day War. On Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, deciding to go recklessly to music concerts, to homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200 plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. In one of the most cloistered urban environments on the planet, 2 million people live in a place where it's impossible to wage war. Impossible. Where they wear civilian clothing, they violate every tenet of the Geneva Convention, and the IDF, when they do something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gazan child, they get no credit. When they drop leaflets, they get no credit.
This is what is hard for me with Charlie, because this is clearly a very recent clip of him. You can just tell, well, I can, having watched him a lot. This is more recent than the PBD podcast clip, which was in 23. So it's hard for me to fully understand why Charlie had these opposing beliefs and positions on Philly and on Gaza and on Palestine and everything, and on October 7th. So that I don't understand. And I'm all ears if you guys have any insight or takes. Nope, he did not always publicly defend them, Jay. Go look at the PBD podcast. Have you not seen what he said on PBD, Jay? Charlie always had to publicly defend Philly at all costs because of his donors. That's not true. Go look what he said on the PBD podcast, okay? And then look at all the things Charlie did in 2025. He didn't then either. However, he did simultaneously at different times have different positions on these different issues. And it could be that he was battling with it, struggling to hold the position that he held forever, while at the same time struggling with the new information that was coming in. I don't know. I don't know. What it was that made him kind of go back and forth on this issue, especially on October 7th. He was very clear on the PBD podcast. So, he said, Bibi and the Philadelphian government had a mandate to, cleanse ethnically Gaza, right? He said that in a country as big as New Jersey, it shouldn't have taken 6 hours when you can drive, when there is armed IDF soldiers walking around every street with a weapon, when it's the border is one of the most heavily guarded borders in the world. He didn't understand how that could have happened, whether there was a stand down order, whether Bibi allowed it to happen, whether Bibi knew it was going to happen, or whether Bibi made it happen, or if Bibi was given false intel that made him have false sense of security that it wasn't going to happen. I don't know. I do know that he was, a supporter, and that I believe that he was misled, like most of us were. A lot of us Christian evangelical Protestants were pro-Philly for a very long time. And we questioned, I think, Mossad and certain aspects of the government, whether that be with 9/11 and other things that had happened. But most of us still, as Christians, believed, the Zionists, narrative and propaganda. It wasn't really until 2025 that all of that really unraveled, and it unraveled so quickly. so quickly. So, yeah. Let's see. Let me do this one.
Are you married?
Yes, with 2 beautiful children.
Wow, good for you.
I could tell you're not married.
So I know you're obviously very anti-trans.
No, I'm pro-reality.
If you listen to your bio professors, you would understand there's a difference between biology and what we think
So
about.
I want to thank you for proving a great point.
What?
You are why we should eliminate the Department of Education.
Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
I believe I am a bobcat. Agree or disagree?
Well, to be honest, I don't.
That's my truth.
And I don't know. And maybe that is what you believe.
If I said that, I would be out of my mind.
Oh, my shirt, everybody. My shirt says Charlie Kirk.
I am living rent-free in so many libs' minds.
You keep interrupting me. Every time I actually try to. People like you. You want people.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Let me exit out of these. All right. This is a long stream, ladies and gentlemen. My voice is drying. Sorry, is drying out and hurting. That's weird. It says 152 here. Hold on. Let me hit refresh. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's not accurate. 1 second. Refresh. Come on, dude. It says 97. Okay, StreamYard is having issues. That's what it is. For sure, StreamYard is having issues. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like and subscribe. It's how you can help support this channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you want to donate and support this channel but don't want to give your money through YouTube, you can do it here through the Blackline Brief Venmo account. Here it is. Or you could do it at buymeacoffee.com/the Blackline Brief. Make sure when you do so, you add a little comment or memo on where you would like your donation to go to or your support to go to. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all your love and support. Thank you guys for being here, ladies and gentlemen. When I say guys, I'm sorry. It's just a habit. I mean, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. But thank you guys for being here and for supporting myself and this channel and Jay. You guys are the best community on the internet. I love you guys. God bless you guys. Have a great night. And I will see you guys mañana. Bye.